Good work from Monarch Patel to keep Asif Sheikh honest. You see M Sheikh, it's for Muhammad Asif Sheikh. He's known by Asif Sheikh to most of his teammates. He's got Asif on the back of his shirt. And there's the Dolly banging away the drum for the USA. That's Amar Moturu. And he's gone all out today to make a big poster for Ali Khan. He's wearing an Ali Khan jersey, a very rare Ali Khan jersey, an ICC Americas jersey. That's from 2016. And this one is the first run off the bat into the leg side. You get the Nepal fans animated early and often. Told the story on air a couple days ago. Amar Moturu, young fan out here in the Houston area, who made a special connection with Ali Khan. He's one of the most loyal fans here in the Houston area. Ali Khan gave him his ICC Americas jersey as a gesture of thanks for when Amar was the only fan who would come out to Musa Stadium to support the USA players going back several years. As this time, Kushal Bertel gets a run off the bat to get off strike. And Amar, he's got the dolly. He's at the dolly. He's been here throughout the week, and he's gone out in between games, and you could see it on the camera there on the West Grandstand. He's had a picture of Ali Khan blown up into a huge poster. That's how much he loves Ali Khan. And he's going to be making noise, banging that dole throughout the day. He's a huge Ali Khan fan. Jones cuts that one off in the covers. We've seen a lot of historic firsts here, Aman Patel. Zaman is here in the commentary box with me. A lot of historic firsts. First ODI, 213th ODI ground in the world. A lot of USA flags in the ground, USA jerseys. That's the first time I've seen a huge player photo blow-up poster like that at a USA cricket match. Aman, what do you think?
First time I've seen it as well, and it's exciting. You know, it feels like we're going to see that more often. It might be inspiring some of these players to, especially Ali Khan, getting to see him consistently throughout the day.
Slight hesitation going back for the second. jerseys. I haven't seen a Nepal sign, though. So in the sign stakes, it's USA 2, Nepal 0 at the moment.
Well, when Nepal lacks in signage, they make up for in verbiage and audio, because we saw them coming out for the anthems chanting Nepal, Nepal. So they're very loud. They're going to make up for the lack of signs. We saw them coming out for the anthems chanting.
This time, Bertel coming down the track to negate the swing. Just prods this into the offside. 2 runs in the over. 8 for no loss. Coming down the track after 2. The swing. Prods this into the offside. 2 runs in the over. Now here's a look at the USA squad. Just one change. Nisark Patel coming in for Nash Kenjigate. And Nisark sat out the last here's a look at the USA squad. Just one 2 change. Matches. Nisark Patel coming in for Nash Kenjigate. For USA. And Nisark Patel coming in for Nash Kenjigate. You can see Ali Khan with the new ball. USA. Stephen Taylor, Sushant Madani at the top of the order. Manoj Patel, the captain of USA, and there's 2 teenagers there. Yasser Muhammad, we'll see him bowl his leg spin later on. And Rahul Jarawal, who's going to bat in the middle order. They made their debuts earlier in this tour. Yasser Muhammad, we'll see him bowl his leg spin. And Saurabh Netralkar, USA's all-time leading wicket taker in limited overs cricket. They made their debuts earlier in this tour. Yasser Muhammad, we'll see him bowl his leg spin. And Saurabh Netralkar, USA's all-time leading. Ali Khan, who's fresh off a 5-wicket haul. Aman, 5 for 20. Career best figures for him. Ali Khan, who's fresh off a 5-wicket haul. Special day, more history being made, as I said. Another historic moment for Ali Khan. What was your take on his performance the other day?
Well, it was a bounce-back performance. If you remember, didn't have the greatest opening the spell, and then you talk about at the end, I think he had 5 wickets for what? You say, Peter? 3 runs? 4 runs. So, you talk about him in the death. We've talked about him as a death bowler and the Yorker King. He reigned supreme on that day. It was very, very impressive. The tail back, the reverse swing. It was great to see, and he's going to look to back that 5-wicket haul with another great performance. The reverse swing. It was great to see, and he's going to look.
Asif tries to whip this one off his pads. Can't get it away. Calling him Asif because his brother is RF Sheikh. So just to distinguish the 2 of them, you see M Sheikh calling him Asif. On the scorecard is Muhammad Asif Sheikh and Muhammad Arif Sheikh. The 2 of them, you see M Sheikh. Call them Asif and Arif to distinguish them. So it's Asif out there opening the batting. We saw Arif bowling medium pace. Asif to distinguish them. So it's keeping wicket today. You see Arif standing next to him at slip when he's not bowling. Medium pace. Asif. The bouncer shows the intensity that Ali Khan is bringing to the table, but the Nepal fans are loving it because it's signaled to wide. Just tailing down the leg side is Leslie Reefer Jr. Signals an extra for a total to be added to Nepal. And signals an extra. VJ Malala, who's standing out there with Leslie Reefer Jr. today. Leslie Reefer Jr. Standing at the Pearland end. There he is on screen now. And Vijay Malala is at the Massey Ranch end. Standing at the Pearland end. There he is on screen now. And Vijay Malala is at the Massey Ranch end. And a gorgeous back foot punch. It's going to get 4 runs. First boundary of the day. Whips the Nepal fans into a frenzy.
And there they go. That's exactly what they wanted to get off to a good start. Get a boundary. Get it going here in the power play. And climbed that backward length delivery quite well, pushed it into the gap through the covers. We've seen time and time again Manoj Patel, Sushant Madani do the same thing, play a similar shot. All here. Not going to just sit like laying ducks. Take a look at this. And he went back of a length. It was just...
And a gorgeous backward punch. It's going to get 4 runs. First boundary of the day. Whips the Nepal fans into a backward punch. It's going to get 4 runs. First boundary of the day. Whips the Nepal fans into a backward punch. It's going to get 4 runs. This time, Asif can't get bad on this.
You can see Asif saying the hand motion from Ali Khan as you see Vijay Malala. You can see on your screen Asif saying swing away from Ali Khan, creating problems. We've seen more swing here in the second part of the series, especially early on. We've seen more swing here in the second part of the series, especially early on. We've seen more swing here in the second part of the series, especially early on.
Sushant Madani doing the fielding in the covers. It's a fresh wicket, brand new wicket being used today. First time all tour here in the 9th ODI. They've been rotating pitches throughout. There's 3 strips on this square. You can see there's no foot marks really, hardly any wear and tear compared to the 2 strips that are to the left. You can see there's everybody watching it. It's broadcast on ICC TV. Around the world, fan code in Nepal and throughout the subcontinent. And Willow TV in North America. That's how shiny this wicket is. You can see the reflection from Asif Sheikh standing there. It's a brand new pitch from Samuel Plummer.
Another masterclass from Samuel Plummer. We had a lot of questions the other day about the shine. Shine hasn't gone away.
And another sumptuous drive through the covers. Gets loud roars to end the over. Another boundary. 17 for none after 3.
Yeah, that time Ali Khan just got a touch too full.
Another boundary.
Asif Sheikh.
After 3.
Just that time Ali Khan used his hands to read it through and drive it through the covers, and the Nepal faithful, they erupt. And they know that they have to get off to a better start here in the power play. Asif Sheikh making sure of that. Nepal faithful, they erupt.
One other thing to read out today for everybody tuning in, in case you haven't been joining us throughout. One other thing to read out today, he's back-to-back ODI series, USA taking on Scotland and the UAE first, and now USA taking on Nepal and Oman today. As you see another angle of this cover drive to the boundary. This is by far the hottest day of the tour in Texas. As you see another angle of this cover drive to the boundary, and it means adjusted playing conditions in Texas. Match referee Rion King and the umpires agreeing with both teams that we will have a third scheduled drinks break because it is so absurdly hot here, and not just hot but humid, incredibly sticky. The forecast today is supposed to climb over 100 degrees today, hottest day of this back-to-back SkyExchange.net ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series. 101 degrees Fahrenheit is supposed to be the high today here in Pearland, and it's around 38 101 degrees Fahrenheit is supposed to be the high Celsius here in Pearland, and it's around 38. And on top of that, the humidity make the heat index climb above 110 degrees Fahrenheit is what the real feel is going to be like, and well over 40 degrees Celsius. So because of that, 110 degrees Fahrenheit, the match officials have agreed to have a third drinks break. So instead of having an hour and 10 minutes between intervals and drinks, it's going to be 55 minutes. So instead of having an hour and 10 minutes, 55 minutes for the first interval, and then another drinks break the next 55 minutes, and then a third one 55 minutes later. So they want to keep the players hydrated, keep them safe. We saw Monank Patel have some issues with the heat. He was getting sick on the field after a day in which he scored a century and then had to keep wicket. He wasn't able to make it through to the end because that's how stifling the conditions were. And I think that also may have sparked a wise decision by the match officials to have a third scheduled drinks break, and that also may have sparked. See players get drinks run out quite regularly in between that as well. Have a third scheduled drinks break just as long as they make it efficient. The officials have all agreed they're willing to offer some flexibility today in that regard.
Well, the players are going to be happy at the moment because there is a big cloud covering the sun, keeping them cool. There is a breeze, so just for the moment they're escaping some of the heat, but it's still very, very hot even without the sun shining and beating down atop these players. And again, as you see, plenty of clouds in the sky right now. You have the cloud to the right of your screen covering up the sun. And again, as you see, plenty of clouds in the sky right now.
And Nitrovalco getting a little bit of extra bounce. And that's why you see Sushant Madani in there at slip. Typically, you see Stephen Taylor in its slip. This is a little bit unusual. Taylor, at this stage of the match, is not standing next to Monarch Patel. They've gone for Madani at slip. Slight change in usual power play fielding alignment. They've gone for Madani at slip. Stephen Taylor is so versatile. You can plug him just about anywhere in the field. He's always going to be outstanding. Stephen Taylor is so versatile. You can plug him just about anywhere in the field. Top edge. Monarch Patel is running back. He's not going to get there, though. It's going to clear him. And a poor angle taken by Ali Khan. It should have been kept to no more than 2. But the fast bowler misjudging the ball, backspinning away. And instead of it being kept to 2, it results in a boundary to end the over for Nepal. 5 runs from it, 22 for none after 4.
Yeah, you see Sarab all over long. He's been going back of a length, just right around the body line. This time, Asif Sheikh wanted to just help it through and above the leg side, got the top edge, and I think, as you mentioned, a very poor angle taken from Ali Khan. Really tried to charge at it, didn't account for any of the ball bouncing and spinning back towards the boundary. By the time he realized he had taken a bad angle, it was already too late. Not the way Nepal's going to want that 4, but they'll take the 4 nonetheless.
A much different approach taken today with Asif Sheikh and Kushal Bertel opening the batting. Already 22 for none after just 4 overs in the chase. 2 days ago against Oman, Nepal crawled to 30 for 1 after 10 in the end of the power play. And that was with Sunil Damala and Subhash Kakarel opening the batting. Big change in the approach now that they've got a healthier, more robust lineup, preferred lineup at the top of the order today, Aman.
Yeah, and again, it's going to be very much needed. It's a very nice track to bat on. You're thinking 300. You got to get going in the power play. Yeah, and again, it's going to be very much needed.
No ball signaled. It was down the leg side. Leslie Reefer Jr. had 2 options to choose from, but the overstep takes precedence. And you see Leslie Reefer Jr. wave his hand over his head to signal the free hit. So the Nepal fans are making their voices heard in anticipation of what could be a costly error from Ali Khan.
And again, just the overstep there, pushing it down the leg side. And now Bertel, he gets this little bit of freedom. You know he wants to be aggressive now. There's no repercussions if he chooses to be.
Again, that was down the leg side, so would have been a wide, would have been an extra regardless, but because it's an overstep, you get the free hit, and the no ball takes precedence. Here comes the free hit. Would have been an extra regardless, but because it's an overstep, you get the free hit. And it's going to be signaled to wide on height from square leg by Vijay Mallela, so the free hit remains in play. The free hit delivery has to be one that the batter is able to play at. And because that one is deemed a wide on height by Vijay Malella at the square leg, the free hit remains in play. So 2 more runs added here without illegal delivery bowled. USA under early pressure.
Yeah, and I think it was a good call from Vijay Mallela at the square leg position. It looked like it went over the head. And Ali Khan is trying to just rush. Bertel not trying to let him step down the track and free his arms, trying to make him play against the wind blowing from the right to the left of your screen. The free hit continues.
Deep third man, deep final leg, the 2 boundary riders at the moment. Everybody else in the ring, so we can go over the top if he wants. Deep third man. Slower ball slashed wide of deep third man. Netravalkar has some ground to cover. He's going to keep it to 2. Slower ball slashed wide of deep third man.
Yeah, Khan, he goes for the slower ball, but it was very wide of the bat. I think had he been a little bit closer to the body, wouldn't have costed him as many runs. But there you go. Khan, he escapes the free hit without giving up a boundary, but he's still got to come up now and start his over. That was only the first ball of the over. And you're talking about 4 runs off 1 delivery. It's basically you hit a boundary if you're Nepal. It's a great start.
You don't see the slower ball too often from Ali Khan, so he's trying to mix up his delivery Zoe to keep Nepal off balance. We saw him use it very successfully a couple years ago with delivery that he's lost confidence in the last year or two, but he's tried to mix it in at times with decent results. It was a slower ball that actually got him his 5th wicket in that 5-wicket haul to clinch the match against Oman. Decent results. It was a slower ball that actually got him.
I think that'll give you confidence to bowl again. If you can take a wicket off of it, you say, okay, I can try this one again when I need it. But as you said, haven't seen it as frequently the past year or so. Okay, I can try this one. Good to see Ali Khan getting the variations back. As you said, haven't seen it as frequently.
Length delivery. This occasion. As you said, I'm on the wind. The cross breeze blowing kind of to the northeast today. It was blowing to the northwest a couple days ago. Today to the northeast. So Ali Khan, he's running into the wind slightly. The cross breeze blowing from today to the northeast. So Ali Khan, he's running into the wind. The leg side into the offside for batter on strike. Kushal Bertel. The leg side into the offside for. And a very sharp single, picking on Rahul Jarawala at mid-on. Jarawala, the teenager, usually a wicketkeeper. Sharp single, picking on. Not often you see him without the gloves on, and they decided to attack him.
You can see a different approach here from Nepal in terms of the running between the wickets. I think yesterday, 2 days ago, they really just let the singles go by early on. They didn't want to test anybody. Today, they've come up with a whole different mindset. They've changed it. They've assessed what they need to do. They've been aggressive both with the shot selection and with the running between the wickets. Different mindset. They've changed it. They've assessed what they need to do. They've been aggressive both with the shot selection and with the running between the wickets.
Kushal Bertel is a heavy run scorer in domestic leagues for Nepal. He's kind of a late bloomer, 25 years old. Made his debut in 2021, both in ODI cricket and T20I cricket for Nepal. Not often you see a guy make a debut that late in the Nepal scene at senior level. Represented Nepal in her 19s prior to that. Not often you see a guy make a debut that late in the Nepal scene. Got another teenager making his debut today in ODI cricket, and Adil Alam. Prior to that. Another teenager making his debut today in ODI cricket. Dev Connell, another teenager, make a good start. A couple days ago without necessarily being able to convert it. We saw Rohit Paudel, another teenager. Lamachani, of course, made his debut as a teenager. Being able to convert it. We saw Rohit Paudel. The mentality in Nepal, if you get a good young player, there's no reason to hold them back. And Kushal Bertel is one of the few players to go against type.
Yeah, Nepal's pushed the youngsters to keep playing. We saw Dave Connell with a big role yesterday with the bat to try to get him going with the ball. The youngsters to keep playing, as you mentioned. Big role yesterday with the bat to try to get him going with. They're really pushing the teenagers up, and Dave Connell keeping some of them away for the moment. Pushing the teenagers up.
6 runs in the over. 28 for none after 5. 6 runs in the over. 28 for none after 5. 6 runs in the over. 28 for none. Here's a look at the series so far. We've had 8 matches played. This is match day number 9. Super Saturday. Here's a look at so far. We've had Musa Stadium here in Pearland, Texas. Match day number 9. For a lot of people curious about the pronunciation at Pearland, the land where they grow pears. It's an easy way to think of it. It's not where they have pearls. There's no lake or deep sea where they've got a lot of pearls that they can harvest. It's an easy way to think of it. It's not where they have pearls. There's no. This is agricultural land. If you look all around the ground, you see a lot of ranches, a lot of farmland. All in the surrounding area. If you look all around the ground, you see a lot of ranches, a lot of farmland. It used to be all really known in this part of Texas. And there's Samuel Plummer, the groundsman here at Musa Stadium in Pearland. He's the reason, everybody. If you're wondering why is the pitch so shiny, you can ask him. Don't ask us. Ask him, the man on the right-hand side of the screen there with the big wide-brimmed hat. Why is the pitch so shiny? You can ask him. Don't ask us. Ask him, the man. And another exquisite punch through the offside beats Yasser Muhammad's diving effort. And it's going to be another boundary. Asif Sheikh already 4 4s in his innings.
Yosemite Plummer has a lot of stuff in his bag of tricks. We saw Asif Sheikh pull out another one there. Glorious cover drive, beat the young teenagers. Dive and the fan out in the deep, plucking the ball from outside the fence. That's a throw back in. We're going to take a look at this. Saurabh this time, touch fuller, touch wider. Outside the fence. Asif Sheikh able to touch it away. 4 more for Nepal. Saurabh this time, touch fuller, touch wider. Outside the fence. Asif Sheikh able to touch it away. 4 more for Nepal. Saurabh this time, look at that angle.
Back to live action. This one just seen off with less drama into the offside. Back to live action. Asif Sheikh. Seen off again. Brothers with Arif Sheikh. Asif, 21 years old. Made his ODI debut against Papua New Guinea and Muscat last September. Made his ODI debut against Papua New Guinea and Muscat. It was a match last September where Sandeep Lamachane took 4 wickets, and it was a match in spite of the fact that they bowled Papua New Guinea out for 134. The match went down to the wire and took 41 from Rohit Paudel in the middle order to help Nepal get across the line, and a crucial 22 not out from Sampal Kami, and a 2-wicket win, chasing that with 10.3 overs to spare, but a lot more dramatic than I think people expected when Papua New Guinea finished on 134. And on that occasion, Asif Sheikh, 30 off 46, opening the batting, second high score in the match, or for his side at the very least. 30 off 46, joint second high score in the match, or for his side.
Good player for for Nepal, especially up top of the order. Has 300 runs in his career. A high score of 59 not out. Again, he's played 16 innings since Nepal's been granted ODI status in 2018.
This time Taylor cuts off his delivery on the ring at backward point, so just the boundary off the second ball. 32 for none after 6. His delivery on the ring at backward point, so just the boundary off the second ball. 32 for none after 6. His delivery on the ring at backward point, so just the boundary off the second ball. 32 for none after 6. His delivery on the ring at backward point, so just the boundary off the second ball. 32 for none after 6. Delivery on the ring at backward point, so just the boundary off the second ball. 32 for none after 6. Rusty Tehran. It's going to be the first bowling change, replacing Ali Khan, who couldn't really get anything out of the pitch. Rusty Tehran in his new ball spell from the Pearland end. Ali Khan, who couldn't really get anything out of the very pitch. Flat wicket. Plenty of runs in here. Spell from the Pearland end. Ali Khan, who couldn't really get anything out of the very pitch. Flat wicket. 2 straight on the legs, flicked to Nisarg Patel. A deep fine leg for a single.
And you can see that time hesitation on the 2. They elected not to take it. They shouldn't have a word about it, seems like. And Rusty Tehran, he's a good bowler. He's able to get a little bit of overbounce just because of his height and how big and tall he is. And I think for the USA bowlers, you've seen it all the time here, Musa. The key is to stay on the length and stay out and about, off stump. Make the batsman work from there. There's not much happening in the wicket. Stay on the length and stay out and about.
Rusty so far in this tour, 3 matches, 3 wickets.
There's not much happening in the wicket.
Very good average. Rusty so far in this tour, 3 matches, 11.33 average on this tour. Very good average. He sat out 2 games, nursing just a slight left hamstring injury, but looks like he was fully fit a couple days ago against Oman, and he's maintaining his place in the 11 for USA. dual international. You see that numerous times over the course of USA's history, representing two countries. Rusty Tron originally representing South Africa, and then he retired, migrated to Florida because he wanted to be a teacher. Good stop on the ring by Sushant Madani. Saves 3 runs. Outstanding effort at backward point. Rusty Tron came to America. Wasn't intending to continue playing anything close to professional cricket. He wanted to be an English teacher. Came to Florida to get a degree. And then he got sucked back into cricket, as happens with a lot of the players who played domestic cricket in first-class standard overseas. There's a lot of money to be made in some of the private franchise events that pop up locally in different places around the USA in the holiday weekends, and he got roped into playing in the U.S. Open, which, for people who don't follow U.S. cricket domestically, is one of the most popular events on the U.S. calendar every December. It's held in Florida, and through his performances in that and other events, thought might give cricket another go at international level. This one chopped into the ground at international level behind the stumps, and so chopped into the ground. We're gonna have a ball check here as behind the stumps, and so Leslie Reefer Jr. radios to confirm if this is 5 balls gone or 6. And Rusty, when he became eligible according to the ICC guidelines, a 3-year residency. Rusty, he qualified as a resident to play for USA, and 3-year residency. And he shifted from Florida out to the Bay Area, where he's doing some coaching now in between playing for USA. He shifted from Florida out to the Bay Area. This one is steered out to deep third man for 1, so it was just 3 runs in the over at 35 for none. Seen that all over America. We've seen it with Xavier Marshall, and he played for, most recently, that's another example, played for the West Indies, and then came to New York. We've seen it with Xavier Marshall, spending a couple years in New York, qualified on residency to play for USA. Gajan Singh, another example, played for Guyana Amazon Warriors. The CPL migrated to the Bronx in New York City. He's qualified on residency. We see that in a couple cases in North Carolina as well, among guys who played overseas professionally and now are in the North Carolina area. I believe Dane Pete is one of those guys, played for South Africa. Now he's very, very busy and active in your neck of the woods.
Yeah, Dane Pete, Ovis Pinar. It's great to have those guys out there in Warsaw, North Carolina. And again, I think we've seen a lot of overseas players come to the U.S. and maybe not the entire motive was to come play cricket, but we've seen a lot just get sucked back in, and that tells you just how good the cricketing atmosphere is here in America. All across the country, you see guys come over, and then they just see club cricket. They say, okay, let's go play, and then they get sucked into some of these private tournaments, and then one thing leads to another, and they're playing nationally. They're playing here in Musa Stadium on a hot Super Saturday against Nepal. So it's a pretty exciting time for U.S. cricket, and pretty cool circumstance in which all these players got to come in. Super Saturday against Nepal. So it's a pretty exciting time for U.S. cricket.
Patel up to the stumps now against Kush Alberto, and Saurabh Netravalkar, the man with the ball in hand, is another example that played for India under-19s, played at the 2010 under-19 World Cup for India under-19s, which was the last time the USA went to the under-19 World Cup, and he's teammates with Stephen Taylor now, but he was on the opposite side of the field as Stephen Taylor in a warm-up match that India played against the USA, in which KL Rahul scored a century. He was there for that very memorable occasion. Warm-up match that India played against the USA, in which and Saurabh Netravalkar had a very brief first-class career in India with Mumbai, but he came to the USA to do a postgraduate degree at Cornell University in upstate New York. Had no intention of continuing his cricket, And it was only after arrival that he realized there's a lot of cricket going on. He never brought his kit bag. He left all of his cricket kit back in India. He was coming to the USA to do his studies, and all of a sudden he realized where all this cricket was happening. He was coming to the USA to do his studies. This one is steered to deep, third man for one, and the first time he went back to visit his parents in India, and he brought his cricket kit back with him. Did his 1-year postgraduate degree at Cornell, and then in India got a job with Oracle in the San Francisco Bay Area, and got back into the cricket scene there. Played in a Southern California 11. Traveling back and forth, he would travel back and forth between San Francisco and Los Angeles in the club cricket scene. And when he was representing the Southern California 11 back in 2017, that's how he got on the USA radar with Kubadu Desanayake, because he was representing the Southern California 11, one of the best wicket takers on the day for the SCCA team. That's another single is taken here by Sheikh. And the best wicket takers on the day for the SCCA. The Southern California team that Sarah was playing for actually beat the USA national team, a full-strength USA national team, right before they went off to Uganda. This was in the spring of 2017. And so then when Saurabh Netravalkar became eligible on the ICC residency guidelines in January 2018, boom, fast-tracked straight into the squad on the ICC residency guidelines.
And just goes to show how infectious cricket is here in the States.
Fast-tracked straight into the squad.
How big it's been and how big it's getting. And a lot of these overseas guys not really knowing cricket. There is cricket in the United States, and then, as you said, boom, straight to the national team.
And you get a mix. So you've got guys who've come here for different reasons. It's the melting pot of America. And then you've got guys like Yasser Muhammad, Maidan, Rahul Jarawala, Stephen Taylor. Come here for different reasons. Guys who were born and bred, learned all their cricket in America. Muhammad, Maidan, Rahul Jarawala, Stephen Taylor, getting great opportunities here. Born and bred, learned all their cricket in America. Netravalkar around the wicket, bangs it in back of the length, and hustling Bertel on. Can't get that away. 2 singles in the over at 37 for no loss after 8.
And that was a great over there from Saurabh Netravalkar in the sense of he was just finding the length. He came around, changed the angle. And Manu Patel keeping up to the stumps now forced Bertel to play everything in the crease. And again, Saurabh was banging it in. So this wicket where you don't really like to go on the back foot, just have to get, it just makes Bertel just touch uncomfortable. It was a great adjustment there from Saurabh and Mona coming together. Again, just containing this Nepal attack for a little bit. It was a great adjustment there from Saurabh and Mona coming together. Again, just containing this Nepal attack for a little bit. It was a great adjustment there from Saurabh and Mona coming together.
Got a lot of fans here coming into the ground. Expected to be the biggest crowd of the week. They're still filing in here at Moosa Stadium in Pearland, Texas. You're watching live coverage of the SkyExchange.net ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. Texas, you're watching live coverage. This is Rusty Tron charges in for his second over. Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. Again, we've seen this, let's say, getting their lines wrong consistently with these wides down the leg side. You can't afford to be as poorly disciplined as USA has been here in the early going when you've got such a flat wicket.
Yeah, and again, I thought that they came out on the first match against Oman with a really good game plan. Didn't really try to do too much. And we've seen teams, for whatever reason, fall in love with the short ball on this wicket. Again, it is there if you can dig it in, but it's just not a ball that's going to pick up much success here. If you're lucky, you get a dot. If not, but it's just not a ball that's
Taylor, fantastic work at backward point to knock that one down.
If you get the short ball wrong, you're looking at wides, you're looking at an easy boundary.
Taylor,
to me, the short ball on this wicket especially isn't really what you're looking for. Again, if you just keep it on the body line, keep it on the length, it's less toll on you as a bowler. And it just creates so much more pressure on the opposing batting side. And it just creates so much more pressure on the opposing batting side. And it just creates so much more pressure on the opposing batting side.
Yasser Muhammad, there's the teenager from New Jersey. The young fox from Old Bridge. We'll see him with his leg spin later on. Number 88. Muhammad, there's the teenager from New Jersey. On the back of the jersey, but number 1 in the heart of his dad, who's here watching in the family section. And there you see the broader fan section. Tremendous crowd here on this Super Saturday. Fans from all over Texas and traveling in from different parts of America and some even internationally to come watch this occasion. From all over Texas and traveling in from different parts of Tehran, making life uncomfortable there. Watch this occasion. Asif Sheikh banging it in short, getting him on the gloves, but the 21-year-old still able to get it away for a single. Asif Sheikh.
And in that time, back of a length, right on the body, right on the gloves of the batters. You take a look at the fans here, and they got the 10 up, and here's the king stand with the misters blowing down. That's what you're seeing on your screen at the moment.
You see the man with the long lens there, that's Adil Khan, that's Yasser Muhammad's cousin, and the man with the hat and the kind of the pinkish shirt, salmon-colored shirt, that's Nadeem, that's Yasser Muhammad's father. Flew out from New Jersey to watch Yasser make his debut a couple days ago. His ODI debut, he made his T20I debut for USA in Florida against Ireland in December. Yasser make his debut a couple days ago. His ODI debut, his T20I debut for USA. Deal, part of the family, supporting USA. Monang Patel, his sister, and her husband, Monang's brother-in-law, drove down from Dallas to be here today. It's the first time Monang's brother-in-law, Harsh, brother-in-law, and Ashvi, Monang Patel's sister, getting a chance to watch the USA captain in person playing for USA for the first time in USA colors. Special moment for them today. Watch the USA captain in person playing for USA for the first time. He was chopped tamely. Special moment for them today. To Monang, USA captain with the gloves on.
And I think Berto's going to feel he missed out on that one. It was wide enough where you had the opportunity to take it through that point region, but it's been a good recovery here from Russia Tehran. Apart from that one wide delivery, you saw everything on a length, right on the body line.
Most of the jerseys that T10 Sports have been selling are just your standard USA cricket jerseys. Most of the jerseys you see Kuldeep Patel wearing the Krypton jersey there. It's Houston Indians, his local cricket club, former USA national team player and former USA selector in the golf cart. Wearing the Krypton jersey there. And helping out as a volunteer at this event. Taylor has a shot at the stumps. And we'll have a look at the replay on this. Dicey single. Taylor's throw was just a bit high, but first replay on this. Crack left open for USA to try and capitalize on to get an early wicket. They can't convert it. 40 for none after 9, but if we look at the replay, if we can get a chance to see this one again, this is the closest opportunity USA had this morning for a wicket. Aman.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about how Nepal has been a little bit more aggressive with the running this time. One was the aggressor in Asif Sheikh. The other one, elected not to go. Let's take a look at the throw here from Taylor. Had really 1.5 stumps to look at. It was a touch high. Had he hit, looks to me as if Asif Sheikh would have been gone. I'm thinking also, had he thrown to the far end and had a little bit more to aim at, I think it would have been out as well. Because we saw Asif Sheikh take off from the very beginning. Berto had a little bit of hesitation. I think had he just looked to the bowler's end, maybe a little bit easier of a throw, I think it would have been a definite run out there. Had a little bit of hesitation. I think had he just looked to the bowler's end, maybe a little bit easier of a throw, I think it would have been a definite run out there.
Back to live action to start the 10th over in the first power play here. Yeah, it just looks like Taylor airmailed that one. Action to start the 10th over in the first power play here. Yeah, it just looks like from a different angle, straight down the pitch.
And again, you can see where he's throwing. If you look, Berto's just straight at halfway down the wicket. If he just turned over to the bowler's end, he had a little bit more to aim at. Berto's just straight at halfway down the wicket. And clearly was nowhere near his crease. He had a little bit more to aim at.
Well, I might disagree on that angle. It looks like, again, it's from a distance, but you can kind of make out the line, the crease line, and it looks like a lot closer from that down the pitch angle, where at the point where the ball crossed the top of the stumps, Asif, so quick between the wickets, actually might have made his ground. It would have been a very interesting decision for Vijay Malala to make from side on that end of the ground. And again, the fact that it was as tight as it was. From the initial angle, it looked like it was well out, but that second angle, I cast him down on that, just shows how quick Asif Sheikh is between the wickets. The initial angle looked like it was well out, but that second angle, I cast him down on that, just shows how quick Asif Sheikh is between the wickets. We've seen this back foot punch a number of times. One of the most productive shots throughout the morning. We've seen this back foot punch a number of times.
And one of the most productive shots throughout the series, Peter. Again, if you're going to bowl on a length, you have to be able to play with the full face of the bat and just push it around the ground, able to pick that gap to cover. Didn't quite get all of it to send it to the boundary for 4. Gurjan Singh relays it back, but it ends up being 3 runs. Good running for the two Nepali openers.
Yasir Muhammad is waving his arms, rolling his arms, stretch out at mid-on. Yasir Muhammad Taylor with another superb diving stop to save 4 runs in the ring. I wonder if first spin bowler comes on today could be leg spinner Yasir Muhammad on a fresh wicket. An interesting call. USA's got Nisar Patel as the left arm spinner. Yasir Muhammad bowling his leg spin. Stephen Taylor is an off spin option, but typically we've seen Stephen Taylor come on when there's been a left-hander at the crease. There's Yasir Muhammad, number 88. His leg spin made his debut a couple days ago, but typically we've seen Stephen Taylor come on when there's been a left-hander at the crease. Took 2 wickets on debut. 2 big wickets, in fact. Both set batters out for 59, Ayan Khan and Shoaib Khan, and that opened the floodgates for Ali Khan to rip through and get his 5 wickets. Out for 59, Ayan Khan and Shoaib Khan, and that opened the floodgates for Ali Khan to.
Yeah, and again, maybe they're looking to bring in Yasir from the far end because now the batsmen try to go through the leg side. They'll be hitting into the wind to bring in Yasir from the far end. Again, we're coming to the end of the power play here. The batsmen try to go through the leg side. If you were to bring in Yasir Muhammad, you bring him in from the far end. They had to hit into the wind on the leg side. The only negative part about that would be the wind is aiding them straight back down the ground, just a touch. So you're playing that risk reward. Negative part about that would be the wind is aiding them straight back down the ground, just a touch.
It's a good shot though, Aman, because we saw how eager Nepal was to hit into the wind against Kawar Ali. He took 3 wickets with his leg spin. So if you bring Yasir Muhammad on from Maryland in, Nepal to hit against the turn into the wind because the wind has shifted directions today. Could be a successful play for USA. We're not going to see it just yet, though. Could be the power play. 44 for none. After 10, as Rusty Tehran goes back to his mark, he'll bowl a 3rd over. 10, as Rusty Tehran.
And it's been pretty even at this stage of the match. Nepal will be happy. Haven't lost a wicket, got off to a little bit better start. In this power play, I think maybe not the start they quite wanted. Stephen Taylor made sure they couldn't pick up a couple of extra runs, but again, they'll be happy not to have any wickets down. They're seeing good intent from their batters. And for the USA, you didn't give up 60, 70 runs in the power play. They're starting to find a little bit more rhythm with the ball now with Rusty and Saurabh. And for the USA,
Nepal was 30 for 1, 10 a couple days ago against Oman.
Starting to find a little bit more rhythm with the ball now with
that
Rusty
chases. First ball after the initial power play is steered to Nesh Valker. Deep third man for 1. USA has pushed 1 more fielder outside the ring. Yasir Muhammad is now on the cover sweeper boundary. Got Nisar Patel at deep fine leg. 1 more fielder outside deep third man. Yasir Muhammad is sweeping on the cover boundary. USA can put 1 more fielder outside the ring if they want to. For the moment, they are keeping 6 fielders inside the ring. Got a mid wicket, mid on, mid off. Keeping extra cover inside the ring, cover and a backward point. Mid on.
And I enjoyed that, Peter, having that extra fielder inside. They've only really scored through that cover area, so you put a sweeper out there to keep that one. And I enjoyed that, Peter, having along with the 2 you already had outside. No need to bring that 4th one in. Stay aggressive. So you put a sweeper out there to keep that one.
And Stephen Taylor and Sushant Madani have just come a touch wider behind point prior to that delivery. And Stephen Taylor and Sushant getting their angles adjusted. USA Madani is behind point prior to that delivery. And Stephen Taylor and Sushant getting their angles adjusted. Or cover point. And Taylor much wider at backward point on the offside ring. Or cover point. And Taylor much wider.
Again, you can see Rusty, he's planning to go back of a length, and just in case he gives a little bit of width, I think he just wants that extra protection. Again, you can see Rusty, he's planning to go back.
Coming down the track, big heave
I think he just wants
from Bertel. Didn't quite middle it. And it's going to trickle well short of the road. Again, he's hitting it into the wind on that side of the ground as well. From Bertel, didn't quite middle it. And it's going to trickle well short of the road. Again,
that's a shot you'll live with if you're the United States. It was a good shot from Bertelli. Decided to come down early. Again, as you said, Peter, hitting it into the wind. Again, take a look at the split screen view. This is the run out. Again, as you said, Peter, hitting it into the wind. Again, take a look at the split screen earlier ago.
So from the side on angle on the left, it looks like he's well short, but here
the ball crosses well later.
Side on angle on the left, it looks like at the straight down the pitch angle, it looks like Asif Sheikh might have actually made his ground.
And that's why I was saying maybe the bowler run would have been a better shot for Stephen Taylor. But going back to this previous delivery again, Bertelli's coming down the track. He goes against the wind, tries to loft it over the top. So again, good intent from Nepal. No fielder out there, so it's a pretty safe shot. But you'll live with that if you're the U.S. He's trying to create something, and on this type of a wicket, you have to make the batsman create something to score. But you'll live with that if you're the U.S. He's trying to create something, and on this type of a wicket, you have to make the batsman create something to score. But you'll live with that if
This is going to look like two. Asif Sheikh, how quick is he between the wickets? Even with a slight collision with Rusty Tehran, he just forges ahead to get that second run.
He's just flying around out there. Again, I think he saw what Nepal struggled with the other day. And they're running between the wickets, a little bit slow, late to get off the mark. He says, not me, I'm going full speed, 100%, and they're not running me out. Again, he's been running like a madman. Late to get off the mark. Not always a bad thing. Full speed, 100%, and they're not running me out. Again, he's been running like a madman. Late to get off the mark. Not always a bad
50 comes up for Nepal, and that's why you could hear that Nepal chants coming from the West Grandstand. 50 comes up for Nepal, and that's why you could hear that Nepal chants coming from the West Grandstand. 50 comes up for Nepal, and that's why again, they're pushing hard. They're going to have to settle for one this time as hit it a bit more directly to Netravalkar at deep third man. Again, they're pushing hard. They're going to have to settle
and again, I think they can sense kind of that the spinners are going to come on and at some point. And we've seen the spinners really tighten the screws. We've talked about it extensively for the previous couple of days. They've really tightened things down. So got to take advantage of the Pacers when you're not getting those boundaries. At least make it one. At least make it two. Just keep the runs flowing whilst the Pacers are out there, because the spinners have been rather difficult to go after. Just keep the runs flowing whilst the Pacers are out there, because the spinners have been rather difficult.
They're going to push hard for two here. Big gap. Gajanat Singh tracks it down, though, to keep it to just one to end the over. They're going to push hard for two here. Big gap. Gajanat Singh, 8 runs from this over. To keep it to just one. 52 for no loss after 8 runs from 11, and we'll have a look at this partnership in progress after opening stand, and we'll have a look. Half century partnership moving along. Nepal didn't get a single half century partnership in the loss to Oman. That's part of the reason why they struggled to get to that total and ultimately fell short. They just didn't get any significant partnership generated, and instead it's a different story today. Right from the first ball, these two have put on a superb effort at the top of the order.
Yeah, again, and they've come up with a very different approach and a much-needed approach from the other day against Oman, where they were a little bit stagnant. They just kind of put the bat down. These two, they've been active early, and that's the important part. They've taken the attack to the USA bowlers rather than letting the bowlers come to them.
Nisarg Patel is going to be the first spinner on for USA today. His left arm finger spin. Nisarg Patel is going to be the first spinner on for USA today. His left arm finger spin. Nisarg Patel is going to be the first spinner on for USA today. His left arm finger spin. Nisarg Patel is going to be the first spinner on for USA today. His left arm finger spin. Nisarg Patel is going to be the first spinner on for USA today. Sweep against the spin, but with the wind. That's the calculation they're taking, and they get 2 runs. Great effort out at deep backward square by Madani to hold that to just 2 runs. Great effort
Again, I'm okay with that if you're the USA because, again, they had to play that cross match out. They had to play that sweep against the turn, as you mentioned, but again, on this ground, it's not been easy to sweep. Oftentimes, you'll see the bat come over the ball. The bounce has been consistent, but it's just a touch lower. Not been easy to sweep. Oftentimes, what some of these guys are used to, but for Nepal, I like the attitude, the aggressiveness. They're going to go and take the attack. Look at this replay here, and great work on the boundary from Sushant Ladani. Attitude, the aggressiveness. They're going to go and take the attack.
Good thing there's no third umpire in place,
I was just
Saman.
trying to say that one, Peter. I thought that foot had come down whilst he was touching the ball. And obviously, as a fielder, it's hard to know where your feet are whilst you have the ball in your hand. But maybe good there was no third umpire indeed.
For everybody who's just joining us this week,
You have the ball in your hand, but
despite the fantastic production that IMG and Cricket Clubs have set up for this series, all umpiring decisions are going to be made on field by the match officials in the middle. That's catches, that's line decisions, and that's boundary decisions. The match officials in the middle. That's catches. And the attempt to reverse sweep. Bullseye! Nisarg Patel. They were cruising along, and again, bullseye! Nisarg Patel hitting into the wind. I don't like that option just because of the conditions at play, Aman. Yes, he's trying to hit with the turn, but into the wind, that's the risk he's taken when there was really no risk necessary there at that stage of the partnership.
Plenty of runs of that over, and I told you when the first sweep was hit, I said, if you're USA, you're living with that shot because the wicket is always open, especially on this ground when they start to play those sweeps. Look at it right here. Try to play with the turn of Nisarg Patel. He's been expensive early. He's come back again. Converted to the sweep early. It was on stumps. And Nisarg laid it with that. Again, just take a look. It's right on stumps. He's going very early to the reverse. And what do we say again? The bat over the top of the ball. Take another look. The bat will come over the ball. The bounce is not low. It's very consistent. It's consistently there. The USA will take that when the first wicket goes. And a pretty soft dismissal, if you want to say that for Patel.
I'm a fan of the shot when it's in the right conditions. You're hitting into the wind. I'm a fan of the shot. Both things have really got to be going in your favor. You got to be hitting with the turn and with the wind. He's hitting with the turn there, but he's hitting into the wind. Both things have really got to be going in your favor. You got to be hitting when you've been cruising along. You haven't needed to force the issue there. And it's a peculiar decision when you're not under pressure. If you're under pressure and you need a release shot, I can understand you going for a risk there, but the risk just did not match the situation on that occasion, and it means Dev Connell comes to the crease. We've had the first drinks break comes to the crease taken here in Texas. Again, we're going to have 3 scheduled drinks breaks because of the increased heat today. Taken here.
Yeah, and to your point about not needing to play that run, there's exactly right. You saw them have the 2 runs, then they got to 4. And again, if you wanted to go get your run, you could just push it to long off, as you did just a little bit earlier. He was the one who pushed it to long off for a quick single. That option was very much available. There was no need to try to force the issue here. You had a lot of success, and now you got to start from zero. We saw Dave Connell play well. Now he's got to start to build a partnership with Asif Sheikh. Now you got to start from zero. We saw Dave Connell play well.
Dave Connell, who got a very good start, but didn't convert it. A couple days ago against Oman. Teenager comes to the crease. Dave Connell, who got a very good start, playing just his 4th ODI. A couple days ago against Oman. Teenager comes to the crease. Dave Connell, who got a very good start, playing just his 4th ODI.
He played well yesterday. Again, we talked about it extensively. He played really well yesterday. Understood what he wanted to do.
He played well yesterday.
He's kind of played it around, and you can see PJ Goodall's.
He's excited. Love the wicket. He's trying to get the U.S. faithful going and try to rival the Nepal faithful in terms of noise. They got him beaten maybe with the signage.
Love the Hawaiian style. PJ never lets the American fans down. He's got the good old Hawaiian floral shirt mixed in with the stars and stripes on his shorts, on his hat, and in his hand waving it very, very proudly. DJ Pedals, who's now based in the Texas, Houston area, just on the north side of Houston. And you see some of the Nepal fans who've been quieting down a little bit by that wicket. 56 for 1 after 12 overs.
Again, Dave Connell had a good innings yesterday, a good start yesterday, and just threw it away with a slog sweep. But again, you can see it's Super Saturday here at Musa Stadium, and that means the fans, they're packed out, they're excited. We had 500 tickets sold, and I'm sure there's more walk-ins as well.
Saw a fan there wearing a Yordan Alvarez
We had 500 tickets
jersey,
sold.
one of the stars of the Houston Astros. As this one beats Taylor, and it's going to beat Yasser Muhammad at deep third man as well. Boundary gets the Nepal fans back into a frenzy to start this 13th over.
Yeah, just what the doctor ordered for Nepal. You lose a wicket. The rest is around this time. You just went away from the length. Yeah, just what the doctor touched Fuller. You lose a wicket. Finally able to convert on one of these cut shots. Went away from the length. Was Asif. Take a look at the angle. Touch Fuller. Okay, not too much room. Wasn't a terrible delivery. Just a great shot. Got on top of it. Able to evade Stephen Taylor at point and Yasser Muhammad at third man for 4 runs. Just a great shot. Got on top of it. Able to evade Stephen Taylor at point and Yasser Muhammad at third man for 4 runs.
This one much more watchful back to Toronto. Yeah, we saw the Yordan Alvarez shirt, jersey out there in the Academy gazebo. Houston Astros star shirt, jersey out there. The USA squad last night were guests of the Houston Astros. Fan has wandered away now, but we'll find him again somewhere in there in the Academy gazebo. USA squad was welcomed onto the field at Minute Maid Park before the start of play between the USA squad was welcomed. This one is going to be a top edge. Will it carry? It's going to fall short of Madani on the rope. It covers sweeper. It was in the air for a long time, and the wind was taking it towards him, but just didn't have enough to carry fortunately, from the Nepal perspective. So well short as they just settle for a single there, and Connell's going to take card. But the Houston Astros took on the Miami Marlins last night. It's a bit interesting in the being around the USA squad because the guests of the Astros, a lot of the guys were supporting the Astros, but Stephen Taylor, born and raised in South Florida, he was cheering hardcore for the Miami Marlins last night. He got his wish. 3 home runs. In the first inning, 2 of them by the Marlins. Jazz Chisholm with a leadoff homer to start the game. Marlins second baseman. And Stephen Taylor was going wild for the Marlins. He was the happiest guy in the USA squad section. Everybody else was getting behind the Astros, but Stephen Taylor was very pleased with the result last night. The Marlins coming out on top of the hometown Astros here, 7-4. USA players had a great time at that game last night.
And Stephen Taylor must have been very excited. One of the very few wins for the Marlins.
Yeah, the Astros are a first-place team for people who don't follow their baseball. Houston Astros, they're defending American League champions. They lost in the World Series last year to the Atlanta Braves. Defending American League champions. First place in the American League West. Marlins in 4th place in the National League East. Way behind my New York Mets. And Marlins on a 4-game win streak, though, after last night's game.
They turned the tide around in Nepal, hoping to do the same. And Nepal's faithful, hoping they can do the same after coming out with a loss against Oman just 2 days back.
This one nearly chopping it on. Asif Sheikh with a close shave. And it's going to bring about to a 6-run over, 62 for 1 after 13. As you can see now, the Oman squad has arrived into the ground. That's Kalimullah in the red shirt, big tall fast bowler, and to his left, Bilal Khan with the hat on. Has arrived into the ground. That's Kalimullah in the red shirt. In fact, they're actually just leaving. They got here early to get all their training out of the way because it is going to be so ridiculously hot as the day gets longer here in Pearland. Again, the temperature is supposed to climb above 100 degrees Fahrenheit once the cloud cover disappears. Players have been fortunate enough to get some respite from some cloud cover here this morning, but once the clouds move on, it's going to be extremely hot and sticky. By far the most uncomfortable day anticipated here, which is all the more reason why these fans should be applauded. Come out here. Biggest crowd of the Tri-Series that USA has hosted on a day that's going to be an arduous one for the fans. They have had some tents erected that were not here earlier in the week. Saki Muhammad, Musa Stadium staff doing their best to make sure the fans are looked after. There's some misters in the King's Stand to keep the fans feeling refreshed, and then they put up some extra tents for some shaded cover, make it a little bit more comfortable here. You've got the Academy gazebo on the northwest side of the ground. We saw earlier some fans in there, and then some other fans have brought some of their own tents. Set up. There's the big tent that's been set up to give the fans a little bit of shelter here at Musa Stadium. Big tent that's been set up to give the fans a little bit of shelter here.
And as you said, Peter, the fans, they're loving it. Should be applauded for coming out on such a scorching day. And both fans' bases have had something to cheer for. We had the wicket for the USA, and for Nepal, you've had those boundaries coming through. We saw the one sweep, one cut, a couple cover shots. For Nepal, you've had those boundaries coming through. We saw the one sweep, one cut, a couple cover shots. And this is what we're more accustomed to from the spinners. Couple of dot balls, only giving up maybe 3 runs in the over. And this is what we're more accustomed
Great work again, Stephen Taylor. He's been a magnet this morning for the ball. He's done some fantastic work, saving a number of runs for USA in that region at backward point. And he cuts off another scoring opportunity. Just 2 runs in the over at 64 for 1 after 14.
We might need to get a metric to how many runs Stephen Taylor saved throughout the day, because then you can point to a couple of times already this morning, him at backward point. We talked about him not being. Oh, look at signage, Peter.
So this is again a sign of the melting pot, and it's America. So Amar Monturu brought the Ali Khan, hey, Hamari Shan sign. That's another one that Amar Monturu has brought in, put up there. Chak Day America, America's in the bod. So usually you get the Chak Day India chant, and Ali Khan with the link with Calcutta Knight Riders, Trinbago Knight Riders, owned by Shah Rukh Khan, and Shah Rukh Khan had the movie Chak Day India, and then you've got the Pakistan Zindabad chants. Well, Amar Monturu, he's melded them together. You've got Chak Day America and America's Zindabad. Love it.
America's going for it. He's looking for the American team to long live.
America
long.
and America's in Dabad. Love it.
America's going for
it. So Chak Day, what is most accurate? Chak Day, let's go America.
Go for it, America kind of deal. That would be
Chak Day, what is
my best translation for it.
Let's go America.
For Zindabad is long live, so long live America. My best translation for it.
Those are the 2 most common chants you'll hear. And for the India fans, Chak Day India. You'll hear the song. You'll hear when I've been in Lauderhill, when India scored in 2016 and 2019, when a wicket's taken or a boundary scored, to get the fans going even crazier than they would, they play the Chak Day India. To get the fans going even crazier than they would. As Yasser Muhammad is on for a spell of leg spin here, and teaming up with a teenager. Rahul Jarwal, his fellow teenager in the squad at mid-on. And there again is the melting pot. You got Yasser Muhammad, Pakistani heritage, born and raised in New Jersey. Rahul Jarwal, Indian heritage, born and raised in California. There again is the melting pot. It's the melting pot of American cricket, embodied by that sign and embodied on the field of play. As sharp running is going to see them come back for 2, taking on Ali Khan's arm, wide, long off.
And again, they bring him on from the Pearland end because the wind is going from the right to the left of your screen, blowing to the east. So now bring him on from the Pearland end because the wind is going from the right to the left of your screen, blowing to the east. So now bring him on from the Pearland because the wind is going from the right to the left of your screen, going to the east. And again, they're not from the Pearland end because the wind.
Shakti, India.
That you might get some medical bills, Peter.
Shakti, India.
That you might get some medical bills, Peter.
3 runs in the over as the single ends it 67 for 1 after 15. I'm Peter Del Penna here at Musa Stadium with Aman Patel. After 15, I'm Peter Del Penna here. Where we're bringing you live coverage of the SkyExchange.net ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. Where we're bringing you live coverage of the SkyExchange.net ICC on ICC TV around the world, fan code in Nepal and throughout the Asian subcontinent, and Willow TV in North America. On ICC TV around the world, fan code in Nepal. Hope you're enjoying the coverage today. Let us know where you're watching from. Send us a tweet at Peter Del Penna, Peter DELLAPENNA. Let us know where you're watching from. Send us a tweet. As this one is going to be 2 collected by Rusty Tron before being relayed in. You can also get my man AP, as the fans around the world have dubbed him, Aman Patel, at AP Sports News _ Don't forget the underscore, or else some other person is going to be wondering why on earth they're getting cricket tweets, or else some other person is going to be wondering why on earth.
Again, for the Nepali batsmen, it's all about trying to milk those singles here with the spinners on. Don't try to do too much. Again, Dave Connell got caught yesterday trying to make a big heave to the leg side. Play with a straight bat, young man. Don't try to do too much. Again, Dave Connell got caught yesterday trying.
Taylor with another great effort. Another close shave, but it's going to be overthrows as Yasser Mohammed is not going to be able to cut this off with a backup. It's going to be 4 overthrows in addition to the singles, so 5 runs total. With a backup, it's going to be 4 overthrows. Mohammed was a little bit slow to react on the angle there from Taylor. Mohammed is at long on, and Taylor in the offside ring. He's got to get a better backup effort from Yasser Mohammed, who was really quite stationary until well after the throw was released.
Well, how about Gajanan Singh, who's in the circle, who was right behind him, put out a dive. He went out to his left and then came back right. And I know Yasser had to run a long way across. Gajanan Singh gives a hand to it. He went out to his left and then came back right.
Not often you get a 5 on the scorecard on your screen. Those are not penalty runs. Those are all runs credited off the bat. Even though you get a 5 on the scorecard on Stephen Taylor's throw that sailed the ball to the boundary, everything once the ball is in play is credited to the batter. And Dev Connell is definitely not going to complain about that. Everything once the ball is in play is credited to the batter.
See, using his feet there, something we've seen again proven very successful. At Musa Stadium's use of the feet. See, using his feet there, coming down the track to the spinners. Not much turn on offer, so you get to the pitch of the ball and you can kind of maneuver it wherever you want to. Coming down the track to the spinners. Not much turn on offer, so you get to the pitch of the ball and you can kind of maneuver it wherever you want to. Coming down the track to the spinners. Not much turn on offer, so you get to the pitch of the ball and you can kind of maneuver
This time, Sheikh will just prod it back to Nisarg. So a 10-run over is 77 this time for 1 after 16. Here's a look at that run-out chance from Taylor. Back. So a 10-run over is 77.
And when you feel for Gajanan Singh, he made all the work behind the stumps just for the throw to come well in front. And you can see Yasser sprinting at the tail end of that one.
And this is something I talked about with Andrew Leonard on air in the earlier matches. The lack of rotational backup fielding practice and simulation in these things. You see it from the time you're 5 years old in baseball. That's all you do is practice fielding. And some of these rotational simulations, I feel like cricket teams could do a better job of practicing, because Gajanan Singh, he really ran too far there.
Yeah.
He should have been staying much more square on his backup, on the angle that he had. He overcompensated on his backup angle, going much more closer to where Yasser Mohammed was. And as a result of that, he was caught wrong-footed. He should have stayed a little bit more closer to the point side. And as a result of that, he came far too more closely to the third man side on that angle, and that's where the chaos ensued.
Yeah, Yasser Muhammad getting lucky on this one. Gave Dave Connell the full toss, and the 17-year-old hits it right back to the 19-year-old. Yeah, Yasser Muhammad getting lucky on this one. Gave Dave Connell the full toss.
And a cool shape here. This might be buys. Not sure if it came off the bat. If it did, it's quite an extraordinary shot. No, it's going to be buys. This might be buys. Well, the signal from Leslie Reefer is indeed he didn't get bad on it. We saw it happen a couple days ago as well. No, it's going to be buys. Extra bounce. Producing 4 buys. He didn't get bad on it. We saw it happen a couple days ago as well.
A little bit of overbounce on it. Beats the bat, beats the gloves of Bonnie Patel. And the googly. A little bit more bounce than what the captain was ready for. And not the way you want it if you're Nepal, but you'll take it. 4 more. What the captain was ready for. Not the way you want it if you're Nepal,
with a single.
But you'll take it. 4 more.
With a single.
And Yasser, you've seen him today. He started his lengths much fuller. He's made it a point of emphasis to go fuller. I heard him talking to his team the other day, and they asked him to rate his performance. He came out with a 4 for his debut. To his team the other day, and that's 4 out of 10. And again, I think it's because of the short balls that he bowled. He dragged him down quite often today, preferring to be too full rather than be too short.
2 runs off the bat, 6 runs in the over, 83 for 1 after 17. 2 runs off the bat. Just going to try and get a look at the replay on that overthrow opportunity. And again, this is what I was talking about. So you'll see Gajanan Singh come from the left side of the screen. Yasser Muhammad, you'll see later on from the right side of the screen. Gajanan Singh has protection on the right side of the screen in the form of Yasser. He comes way too far to the right, overcompensates. If he stays from mid-wicket, which is where he was, that doesn't happen. Back to live action as a sweep comes off the top edge. And it goes well wide of Ali Khan. The ring at fine leg for a single. Comes off the top edge.
And again, I completely agree. I think Gajanan Singh really overran it, caused a little miscue there. But we've seen Asif Sheikh been very, very eager to play the sweep shots. Go across the bat. It is with the wind, but it is against the turn. Again, on this ground, sweeps haven't really proven to be effective. It hasn't stopped him from playing his shots. Against the turn, again on this ground. Sweeps haven't really proven.
It's going to be wide of Sarabnet Javalkar. Long off, but not wide enough for them to feel comfortable to take on a second run. Long off, but not wide enough for them to feel comfortable to take on a second run.
And these two doing a really good job with the spinners in play, keeping it running and keep the runs flowing. And these two doing a really good job.
This is going to be 2. Yasser Muhammad has got a lot of work to do to track this down. They got it wide of Gajanan Singh in the ring. This is going to be 2. And it takes Asif Sheikh out to 48. They got it wide of Gajanan Singh in the ring.
And he's come up with the approach. He's come up with the mentality of, I'm getting it done here. I'm going to be aggressive. I'm taking the attack to the bowlers. He's not waiting for anything to come. He understands that this wicket is good to score on, and he's using it.
And this is going to be at least 2 more. And the Nepal crowd erupts on the west boundary. They're on their feet to applaud. And a half-century, second in ODI cricket for Asif Sheikh as he raises the bat to the roars on the West Grandstand. For Asif Sheikh as he raises
the bat. It's been a brilliant knock from Asif Sheikh, and you can hear how much the Nepal fans are loving it. Again, he's come with the approach of taking it to the bowlers. He's not going to sit idly by. He's gone after it. has been rewarded with a brilliant half-century. Getting the Nepal fans really amped up here. He's gone after it. You can hear it on the stump mic. You can hear it in the comm box without the stump mic, Peter. Getting the Nepal fans really amped up here.
You said it. Amped up, Aman. Career best coming into today, 90. How is against Oman? Had Al Amarat last September. Career best coming into today, 90. Oman Cricket Academy. And the way he's batting right now, Aman, wouldn't be surprised if he goes on Cricket Academy and better than that today, because this is a very, very flat wicket. He goes 8 runs in the over, 91 for 1 after 18. Very, very flat wicket. He goes 8 runs in the over, 91 for 1 after 18. Very, very flat wicket. Goes 8 runs in the over, 91 for 1 after 18. Very, very flat wicket. 8 runs in the over, 91 for 1 after 18. Very, very flat wicket. 8 runs in the over, 91 for 1 after 18. Peter Delapennon and Aman Patel on the call here on SkyExchange.net. ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11 at Musa Stadium in Pearland, Texas. We've got a slight delay here with Physio coming out to have a look. Supported by Dream 11 at Musa Stadium in Pearland, Texas. We've got a slight delay here. Shake. Physio coming out. Got some tweets that have started to roll in. As Arjunan Etiavira Singham, former board member during the Usaka era of American cricket in the mid-2000s, and still follows the team around the world. The USA national team says he's watching from Colombo, Sri Lanka. Thanks for tuning in again, Arjunan, a very loyal fan of the USA national team. Jason Gaddies, who's been following along all series long, watching from Jason Gaddies, who's been following along a reservation in Michigan. I'm not even going to attempt to try and pronounce that, because I know I'm not going to do it justice. Maybe you can give us a phonetic pronunciation, Jason Gaddies. As Yasser Muhammad gets ready to start his third over. And 2 full, too easy to punish through the offside, through the extra cover boundary, and 2 full.
Again, we've seen Yasser today elect to be too full rather than to be too short, and that time it cost him. It was full, it was wide. Just allowed Dave Connor to just run his arms through it, throw his hands at it. Really a vacant extra cover region. It's too easy for Dave Connor. He's shown he's a quality bat. Yasser's got to find a way to pitch it in the right spots. That's where he struggled. He's finding the lengths. He's got to find a way to pitch it in the right spots. That's where he struggled.
Inside edge is googly. Produces all that goes in between the legs. Here's that full toss. Just floats it up with a bit too much air. And Connell. Here's that full toss. Just floats it. Didn't need to do anything special with it. Just dumps it through the offside hole on the turf. Back to live action. This one sits up too short now to be flicked out to long on. Back to live action or a single.
That time just overcorrected.
Sits up too short now.
And again, just got too short. Again, we've seen Yasser had a lot of success. He has the googly. He has the regular leg spinner. If he hits the length, that's where he picked up his 2 wickets. A couple days earlier. Leg spinner. If he hits the length.
Jones picks that one off in the ring. Cheer on GV Subedi, watching from Cincinnati, Ohio. Wondering what could be a winning total for Nepal on this wicket. What's your take, Aman?
Well, he said 250 plus at the end of the tweet. That's definitely where you want it. If you can get it above 300, that scoreboard pressure.
What's your take, Aman?
Well, he said 250 plus at the end. Something that has really played a factor. So looking anywhere at 300, you feel really good.
Well, they've introduced the set a number of times as Jarwal collects that and relays it in for 1. USA has never chased a total more than 257 in their limited overs history. I feel like that might be within reach on this kind of wicket, though. The ball is going to really need to get to 300 to feel extra safe. Even Oman, at the 30 over mark a couple days ago against USA, they were in the hunt. And it was a very dramatic collapse that happened that really made the scorecard look increasingly lopsided for USA, with the final margin being 114 runs, but that's not really reflective of how long Oman was competitive in that chase. The final margin being 114 runs, but that's
Yeah, you're absolutely right about it. They were in it the whole way through. They really came with a nice fight back. Yasser hit the right lengths, and he was able to get 2 wickets. That kind of opened the floodgates and ended up making it a lopsided victory for the USA. But as you mentioned, it's a ground where you can chase. It feels you can chase 250. You could chase 300, but there's just a lot of pressure on it. As you mentioned, it's 300 is where you want to be if you're Nepal. You can chase 250.
And
you could chase 300.
Just in associate cricket, you don't see an awful lot of 300 chases in general because, as you said, scoreboard pressure and just a lot of 300 chases in general. It's not often you do face a target in associate cricket that high to be able to be experienced in that situation. It's not often you do face a target in associate cricket that high to be able to. Yeah, and the 100 comes up. Huge roars again from the West Grandstand. You can see the sun. And the 100 comes Red
up.
Moon flag.
Again from the West Grandstand.
Very unique Nepal flag. It's the only flag in the world. It's not your traditional Red Moon rectangle flag.
Very
Twin triangles.
It's the only flag in the world.
Very distinct for Nepal. As Dev Khanal, with very delicate hands, teases Stephen Taylor all the way to the rope. And the Nepal fans are getting louder and louder. Aman.
I love the approach here from Nepal, and again, you saw that one, delicate hands. The Nepal fans erupt, but they've not, apart from a couple of times, they've tried 3 sweeps. But other than that, they've played with a straight bat. They just pushed the ball around and not piling up dot balls. They're making it a point of emphasis to keep getting 1s and 2s.
Using his feet this time, chipping this. It's cut off by Gajanan Singh in the ring, who is looking so much fitter than he was when he made his USA debut in Oman in September of last year. He's lost about 18 pounds.
So much fitter than he was when he made his USA debut.
See this delicate late cut again that went to the boundary. Gajanan Singh has worked so hard on his fitness in the last several months to make sure he's going to be around for the long haul for USA and be able to score more consistently. Felt like he cost himself a half century in his debut tour in Oman. Got out for 48 just because he was so tired and didn't have the stamina in those conditions. Whereas, in contrast, as he picks up the ball again off the deflection from Nisarg, on this tour, Aman, he's shown how much that fitness work has paid off with some of the performances he's put in with the bat.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a big part of it, the ability, the stamina, the ability to stay in for a period of time and not kind of lose what's going on. It's hot. It's going to be hot everywhere, whether you're going to Oman, you're going to Texas, you know, wherever you are, there's going to be days where it's partying and you're out there for a while, and you don't have the luxury of what these fans of the Kings fans have, of the misters.
In front of Nadeem Saeed, it's Yasser Mohammed Sad, who's got the water bottle in hand now with the pink shirt and the gray cap. In front of him, Rahman Dar, one of Yasser Mohammed, Rahul Jarwal, and Simon Kamal's USA Under-19 teammates. He's got the grayish shirt in the row of blue chairs, the second row there, that's in front of the long lens camera. It's Adil Khan with the long lens, Yasser's cousin, and with the gray shirt with his arms crossed, just in front. That's Rahman Dar, fantastic player in Dallas, born in Connecticut, right around the corner from WWE headquarters. Tells a story of Triple H coming into a Subway sandwich shop his family owned. Triple H brushes with WWE superstars in that part of the world in Stamford, Connecticut. And what a superstar shot that is from Asif Sheikh, who keeps punishing USA when they get too full. Finds the extra cover boundary again.
Struggling to find lengths here, Yasser Mohammed is. He gets too full. Again, there's no one in the extra cover region. And Asif Sheikh says, thank you very much. Take a look at this. Just able to free up his arms. There's no footer out there. He'll hit with the wind, with the straight bat. It's a recipe for success here. Musa, he's brought new life into a Nepal batting attack. He's really giving him new form. Recipe for success here. Musa, he's brought
Mandar, born in Connecticut. Now, a couple years ago, his family relocated to Dallas. So he's made the drive down from Dallas to support his friends from the USA Under-19 squad. We're here in the senior team now. So he's made the drive down from Dallas. This one just off the hands of Stephen Taylor. Another close shave. Had some tight run-out chances. And this time Taylor, who's got such fantastic hands, one of the tallest players on the field for USA, he's down on his knees now in frustration. Because even though it went off his fingertips, he feels like it's one he should have had, and it's one USA needed to have if they're going to get momentum going back in their direction. Aman, you can see the frustration on his face right there.
You can see the hands on his head. Again, Asif Sheikh, he's a big wicket. He's a big man, Stephen Taylor.
See the frustration on his face right there.
Nearly able to get both hands on it and bring it down. Again, tempting Asif Sheikh to play that shot. We saw him play it just a ball earlier from that one. We got it away for 4. He's trying to do the same thing. This time nearly picked out Stephen Taylor. That one. Nearly the breakthrough the U.S. wanted.
We'll get a replay now on that missed chance by Taylor at extra cover.
Again, take a look at it. It's pretty similar delivery as well. He's flighted it up. It's come off the toe end of the bat. And just look, he stretched all the way out, and it's just got the tips of his fingers. Just look, he stretched all the way out.
It's a live action now as this one is whipped out to long on for one. And after that chance, and the camera was still on him, I've watched enough John Boy videos now. I'm on to increase my lip reading skills. You can see Stephen Taylor just mouth. I've watched enough John Boy videos. He was so close. I'm on to increase my lip reading skills. That's the frustration again. Stephen Taylor has, despite that missed chance, you're not going to get PJ Goodall's to dampen his spirits. He's still rallying behind USA with the American flag. You're not going to get PJ Goodall's behind the Pearland and boundary. PJ Goodall is making the drive down from the Woodlands, one of the suburbs on the north side of Houston. Cheering on Stephen Taylor in spite of that missed chance. And Stephen Taylor is going to come on now. One of USA's finest all-rounders. It's an opportunity to try and break this partnership with the ball. He's got a golden arm. He's playing in front of his dad. Made the trip out from South Florida. Sylvan Taylor has been here for a few matches now. He's got his USA jersey on. Doesn't have his ICC umpiring hat on. He's here as a dad this week. Got the USA jersey kitted out. And he's going to be cheering hard for Steven to try and break this partnership for USA in the field.
Yeah, and again, they've gone to Steven, who's had the balls just, he's been a magnet to it today. And he always seems to be making an impact. On to Steven, who's had the balls just, he's been a magnet to it today.
So Asif Sheikh, who was dropped on 57 by Taylor, now moves to 60. So Sheikh with that single. Sheikh, who was dropped on 57 by Taylor.
Get to me dropped is a strong word there, Peter.
Now moves to 60. So Sheikh with that single. Well, you can see Stephen Taylor felt he should have had it. And in my book, you get a hand, you get 2 hands to the ball. You got to hold on. Well, you can see Stephen Taylor tough chance. But Stephen Taylor, the look on his face says he feels he should have had it. You got to hold on. Tough chance. Another single is taken. Stephen Taylor, the look on his face says he feels. I'm always harsh, Aman. Another single is taken.
Unless they're playing the sweep, then
I'm always reverse sweep.
Then it's okay.
Then it's I've got a little bit of leeway for
unless
these guys,
they're playing the sweep,
depending on the situation that they played in.
Then it's okay.
There is again a great shot of the fans that have piled in here today. Musa Stadium, by far the strongest crowd of the week. Big numbers here in Pearland, Texas, just south of Houston, about 20 miles south of downtown Houston in Brazoria County, on the southeast side of Texas. Downtown Houston in Brazoria County, on the southeast side. And now the sun is coming out. The clouds are starting to disappear, and you can see it being much shinier on the field, and that means it's going to get even hotter and hotter. The sun is coming out. The clouds are near the Gulf of Mexico, and you can see Much shinier on the field. About a half hour to the coastline, up towards Galveston on the east side, and you get the sea air coming in, creates the humidity. Half hour to the coastline. It's going to be 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and you get the sea air at midday. Creates the humidity. Past noon local time here now, and with the humidity coming in, the real feel is going to be more like maybe 115 degrees Fahrenheit, well over 40 degrees Celsius. It's going to be a major test for USA. Their stamina in the field, have to chase down and target whatever Nepal sets. It's going to be a major test for USA. Taylor just mixing up his pace there to keep Connell off balance.
And Peter, I just want to highlight this. How about Nepal's strategy against the spinners? We've seen through the first series and now here in the second series, the spinners really tightened the screws up. 3 to 4 run overs at most. We've seen a lot of 2 run overs, maybe 1, maybe you've had maidens. Here, consistently we're seeing 5 or 6 runs come in the over, and it's because of the fact that they're just saying, we're just going to tip it around for 1 run, we're going to tip it around here for 2, not do anything special, and they're seeing a lot of success against the spinners.
It's one of the few times that you said
We've seen a lot of success against the
scoring has been happening relatively freely against the slow bowlers. Again, that just shows how true this pitch is. First time it's being used. They've rotated around the other 2 strips throughout the first 8 matches, but this is the first time they're using this wicket. Yasser Muhammad continues with his 5th over. Bit too short. Chipped up. And it's a brilliant catch by Cam Stevenson at short mid-wicket on as the sub fielder. And Yasser Muhammad finds the breakthrough. That one just sat up and it stopped on him a little bit. Just left the door ajar. Ahmad and Cam Stevenson. Spectacular effort at short mid-wicket on as a sub fielder. Creates the breakthrough for USA.
It's going to go as a wicket for Yasser Muhammad, but it was all Cam Stevenson on that go. There was a little bit of pop off of the wicket there, and Asif Sheikh is going to be disappointed. I think he thought he had triple figures on the cards. Kind of a soft dismissal there, but Cam Stevenson giving some life to the U.S. when they desperately needed it. They needed to find a way to break this partnership. Again, just take another look at it. It's not a terrible delivery, but it's not great. We've seen him push it around, and look at that. Hands down on the ground, diving forward, all out attempts. Cam Stevenson, the sub fielder, making an impact right away.
I tell you what, he was
Cam Stevenson, the sub fielder, making an impact.
Great position there, great reaction. Gets his hands just underneath it, going full extension, and he knew he had it immediately. I tell you what, I think he enjoyed that Houston Astros game last night more than anybody. Cam Stevenson, he was soaking it all in, loving it. He had his Houston Astros hat on, taking in the entire atmosphere. And he might have taken some inspiration last night from some of the Astros and some of the Marlins players to pull off that superb effort.
Again, PJ Goodall, you see him on your screen right now. He was standing behind Yasser Muhammad on the far side of the ground at the Pearland end, right before the wicket. And as soon as he took it, he ran all the way down with the flag, again, giving the U.S. fans something to cheer about and pumping them up. Right before the wicket. And as soon as he took it, he ran all the way down with the flag.
It brings Rohit Paudel, vice captain, out to the wicket. Brings Rohit Paudel, vice captain. Saw him not afraid to play the sweep shot. He was very aggressive with it, scoring quickly. Got out soon after as well. Couldn't convert a start. He's off the mark immediately here with a single.
Yeah, and as you see the airplane going through the clouds, I like the approach of bringing. Yeah, and as you see the airplane
dragged down from Yasser Muhammad, way too short and way too easy to pull that one. Behind square for boundary, so just after the wicket, releasing the pressure and turning the momentum back towards Nepal.
The exact opposite thing the U.S. would have wanted. They would have wanted start tightening the screws, making those dot balls appear, and a real easy one Yasser Muhammad just gave up.
Better delivery, but too straight. And it's going to be signaled as a leg by off the pads. Better delivery, but great atmosphere building up in the West Grandstand as we see more and more fans continuing to come in. One more look at that short ball. Just set way too easily for Dev Connell to pull behind square. One more look at that short ball. Just set. And now Powell too easily for Dev Connell to pull behind square. Easy single to Jarawala at long on. And now Powell.
And again, we saw Rohit Badal the other day come in and just be aggressive in the sense of, yeah, he played the sweeps. We also was looking to rotate the strike, and I like setting him in here because he can kind of just replicate what Asif Sheikh did. In the sense of be very quick between the wickets, just look to keep pushing the ones and not create a block. What Asif Sheikh did in this batting innings for Nepal.
Full toss, too full again, but this time Yasir Mohammed gets away with it. So full toss, too full ends as a 7-run over, 6 off the bat, but the wicket of Asif Sheikh was looking so good. And is Nepal 125 for 2 after 23. Was looking so good. And is Nepal 125 for 2 after 23. Was looking so good. And is Nepal 125 for 2 after 23. Was looking so good. And is Nepal 125 for 2 after 23. So good. Easy single for Powell to start the 24th over against Taylor. Again, you usually see Taylor come on against lefties, but he does bowl for Powell. 10 overs of quality spin regardless of the situation. If he's not threatening for wickets at the very least, he's keeping it very economical for USA. Regardless of the situation, if he's not threatening for wickets like that.
Yeah, and again, what is he doing? He's attacking the stumps. And he's just making the batsman think about it, slowing it down, keeping it quick, doing different things. He's attacking the stumps. And he's just making the batsman, as you said, Peter, very economical, even when he's not amongst the wickets. And I think the U.S. brought him on because they're just down for options. They're going to let him continue his spell.
It looks like Stevenson is on as a subfielder at the moment for Saurabh Netravalkar, who is off the field. Stevenson is on as a subfielder at the moment for Saurabh Netravalkar, who is off the field. Stevenson is on as a subfielder at the moment. So we've slightly solved the mystery of who Cameron Stevenson was on the field for when he took that outstanding catch at short mid-wicket as a subfielder. Who Cameron Stevenson was on the field for when he took that outstanding catch at short mid-wicket as a subfielder. Boundary riders at the moment, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and a point sweeper for Taylor. Boundary riders at the moment, deep mid-wicket, long on, superb over, falling up on the wicket taken by Muhammad. Just 2 runs conceded, 127 for 2 after 24.
Peter, I talked about it just a little bit ago. Hadn't seen a lot of these types of overs from the spinners where it's just giving up maybe 2 runs. Finally got one. Again, that wicket just created enough pressure, turned the tide just enough to get the U.S. back in the match. Again, it's very even at this stage. It's a good way for the U.S. to really put their foot down. In the match, again, it's very even at this stage. It's a good way for the U.S. to really put their foot down. In the match, again, it's very even at this stage.
We're going to see pace return now. So just 1 over after Yasir Mohammed takes the wicket. We're going to see he's come out of the attack from the parent end, and it's going to be Ali Khan after Yasir Mohammed takes the wicket. He's come out of the attack from the parent end, and Amar Motoro is back in the gazebo on the west side of the ground, just above the Ali Khan hay. Hamari Shan sign. Ali Khan is our pride. Ali Khan hay. Hamari Shan sign. Ali Khan is our pride. And on the money first up, much better start than he had with the new ball.
Well, they're trying to replicate what happened against Oman.
Money first up, much better start than he had with the new
situation.
ball.
Yasir Mohammed takes a wicket. Say Ali Khan, come into the attack. Let's see if you can use the floodgates. And again, I think over the course of really the whole series and I think we've seen Ali Khan bowl better in his second spells anyway than the opening spell. I think the opening spell he tries to do too much, gets a little carried away with the new ball. Bowl better in his second spells anyway. Spells have been truly fantastic. The opening spell he tries to do too much, gets a little carried away with the new ball. Bowl better in the second spells anyway. Spells have been truly fantastic. The opening spell he tries to do too much, gets a little carried away with the new ball. Bowl better in the second spells anyway. Spells have been truly fantastic.
Here you can see how hot it is. Yasser Muhammad, he's got a Texas-sized moist towel brought to him by Saimo Kamal, the sub. He's been using that to rub down his entire body. Texas-sized moist towel brought in between deliveries through this over. Saimo Kamal, the sub. It's just so hot and humid here. Down his entire body. This one whipped just short of Cam Stevenson. All of a sudden, he's in the thick of the action in the last 15 minutes of play here. Nearly another wicket to him.
He's coming. He's been a breath of life. It's very hot out here, very humid, so to get a sub fielder on is huge. And again, he's been very, very good, very athletic fielder, big arm. So he's doing a lot of good work at short mid wicket. Here we go, 3 dot balls piling up. Some pressure now on the young Dave Connell. Can they take advantage here, the USA? Here we go, 3 dot balls piling up. Some pressure now on the young Dave Connell.
Tries to spear in the Yorker. This is a superb over. You can feel the momentum shifting slightly back towards USA as Ali Khan tries to spear in the Yorker. With the stare down, teasing not just Dave Connell, but the Nepal fans.
Had a slight smile at the end, too. So he's a very intense individual. We'll take a look at the replay here. And Dave Connell came down the track looking to just work it through the leg side. Cam Stevenson just falls short in front of him. Almost a duplicate of what we saw in the previous over. Leg side, Cam Stevenson just falls short in front of him. Almost a duplicate of what we saw in the previous over. Leg side, Cam Stevenson just falls short in front of him.
And finally, Kano gets off strike. Ali Khan bangs it in short, following up the attempted York with a short ball. And Kano, the teenager, Kano gets off strike to the task. Manish Kamire, the attempted York with a short ball. Kano. Nepal fan says he's watching from 3 a.m. in Melbourne, Australia. Love the dedication. Fans who are watching ICC TV around the world. Fan code in the Indian subcontinent in Nepal. And if you're watching in America, North America, it's on Willow TV. Fan code in the Indian subcontinent in Nepal. And if you're watching in another bouncer in Powdle, gets on top of it, rolls the wrist, keep it on the ground. Just a single. Rusty Tehran. So 2 runs in the over. 129 for 2 after 25. Just a single.
Again, another over. Just 2 runs coming from it. So the USA is starting to slow things down now.
After 25.
So we got fans all over the world, all over the country at YeshK_41. Says he's watching from my hometown, Peter. He's watching from Morso, North Carolina. As you take a look at the match summary. Again, it was Asif Sheikh at the beginning who really got things going, took the attack to the USA bowler, 61 off of 70. Patel kind of threw his wicket away with a reverse sweep. And this starts to tell Yasser Muhammad. A little fortunate that Cam Stevenson was that short mid-wicket to take a phenomenal catch. Was given a 3rd international wicket. Cam Stevenson was that short mid-wicket to take a phenomenal catch.
Single to start this over. Yeah, Rahul Joshi, who's one of the owners of minor league franchise down in Florida, the Orlando Galaxy. Yeah, Rahul Joshi. He's in charge there. Minor league franchise down in Florida, the Orlando Galaxy. Yeah, Rahul Joshi. Rahul's got an interesting story. He's been involved in Central Florida for cricket for many years now. Rahul's got an interesting story. Originally from Kenya. Central Florida for cricket for many years now. As you see the lab sweep here, cut off by Ali Khan, saves 3 runs. Tremendous effort there on the ring by Ali Khan. Saves 3 runs. USA's been really sharp on the ground. Cut off a lot of would-be boundaries for us. The scoreline could look even more devastating at the moment. Rahul Joshi. Finally, someone from USA Cricket makes a play. Well done, Cam Stevenson. Rahul Joshi. Catch it short mid-wicket. Finally, someone from USA Cricket makes a play. Well done.
And you can see just some pressure starting to build now, maybe for the first time on Nepal. And you can see The balls are suddenly starting to find fielders instead of finding gaps. And they're just being held on the crease a little bit longer. Instead of finding gaps. And they're just being held on.
And this is going to be good running. Madani can't relay it in time, coming in off the rope. 2 runs. And this is going to be good running. Madani can't relay it.
You can see the gesture there from Mona Patel, just saying, hurry up a little bit. Just push them. They're going to take 2. Try to get there a little quicker. You can see the gesture. Good running from Nepal. They've been very active between the wickets. Push them. They're going to take 2. Try to get there a little quicker. You can see the good running from Nepal. They've been very active.
That ball to finish the over. 4 runs from it. 133 for 2 after 26. We'll have a look at the over. 4 runs from it. The batting card at the moment, as we're going to have a second drinks break. Again, if you're just joining us, extremely hot today. We have 3 scheduled drinks breaks here at Moosa Stadium in Pearland, Texas, because the temperature is over 100 degrees Fahrenheit today. Heat index with the humidity is going to make it feel like closer to 110, 115 degrees Fahrenheit, over 40 degrees Celsius. As Asif Sheikh, 110, 115 degrees Fahrenheit, over half-century stand with Kushal Bertel. Start of the innings, and you heard Aman Asif Sheikh Patel talk about it. Reverse sweep against Nisarg Patel. What about the end of Kushal Bertel? And then Cam Stevenson was the subfielder who took that superb catch at short mid-wicket off Yasser Muhammad. The end of Kushal Bertel, and then take the 2 wickets, but Dev Connell is still there. Got to start for the second match in a row. Can he convert it? That's the question. And there's the bowling figures for USA. 2 half-century partnerships for Nepal generated so far. As Nisarg and Yasser Muhammad, the 2 wicket takers. Partnerships for Nepal generated so far. So Arvind Chavalkar economical with the new ball, but USA has had to work really hard to try and find some wickets on this very flat deck produced by Samuel Plummer. That's the state of play at the moment. We're going to take a short break. You're watching live coverage of the SkyExchange.net ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. We'll be back with live action shortly. ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. We'll be back with live action shortly. ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. We'll be back with live action shortly. ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. We'll be back with live action shortly. ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. We'll be back with live action shortly. ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11. We'll be back with live action shortly. Welcome back to Pearland, Texas, just south of downtown Houston. Welcome back to Moosa Stadium. This play is about to resume. Just south of Nepal winning the toss and choosing to bat first. Welcome back. Progressed to 133 for 2 after 26 overs. Ali Khan has got the ball in hand to start his 5th over. I'm Peter Del Pennant. Alongside Aman Patel watching this game here. Ali Khan has got the ball in hand to start his 5th over. I'm Peter Del Pennant. In front of us. Alongside Aman Patel watching SkyExchange.net ICC Cricket World Cup League 2 ODI Tri-Series supported by Dream 11 as Mohammed relay over the stumps, and Monank Patel, I don't think he realized how close that was to a near run out, Aman. If he was closer to the stumps, he could have taken the bails off, because that was an awfully risky second by Dev Kano.
That's what I was thinking exactly. He collected and immediately was looking to throw to the bowler's end, and I think the call all along was to throw to the bowler's end. That's why he gave Yasser a little bit of a word, but to your point, he might have had Dave Connell. It would have definitely been close, made it tough for the umpire. Had he taken off one of the bails.
I'd like to get a look at that replay if we can. The interesting angle as we have another stare down between Ali Khan and Nepali batter. But this throw was awfully sharp from Yasser Mohammed. And Monank Patel, as you said, turned to look to fire at the bowler's end, but I think he might have had a chance at the stump's just a few feet away. Here's Yasser Mohammed. Here's the relay. But I think he might have had a chance at... No, maybe not as close. Here's Yasser Mohammed. Kind of looked like he was in, but yeah, you said it, Aman. He turns and has a look. Maybe not as close. It's 22 yards further away from Yasser Mohammed. That's a very long throw from the third man boundary to try and get it to the bowler's end. It's 22 yards further away from big inside edge. Very long throw. Stifled appeal from Ali Khan. Leslie Reefer Jr. wasn't interested. It's actually going to be signaled as a leg by. He's going to be going down the leg side regardless.
To Monank Patel's credit, that was the bowler's end would probably be the better side to throw to, because we saw the little hesitation from Baldo early. Wasn't really convinced to take one. But again, if you take another look at this, had he, again, it would have been tight. I'm not saying that it would have been certain. But I think it's a lot closer than Monank Patel really realized.
He's collecting the ball a few yards away from the stumps, so he's either got to let that go direct if there's going to be any chance. The bouncer, testing Rohit Paudel. He's got to let that go direct if there's going to be any chance. Ali Khan, the bouncer, having a friendly word with the teenager, the vice captain.
Well, he's done this a couple of times, and you see a big smile from Saurabh Netravalkar there. He's gone up a little bit more intimidatingly to Dave Connells, looked him pretty dead in the eye, and then leaves with a smile. This time Rohit Baldo came up with more of a smile, and they were just kind of, it looked like they were joking whilst those two were together.
Saurabh Netravalkar, he's back on the field at short mid-wicket. Cameron Stevenson was on for several overs as a sub-fielding replacement. Netravalkar back on the field. I'm opening over for USA, back on the field now. Khan charges in. Spears in a Yorker. Dug out straight to Netravalkar. So he's gone for the bouncer Yorker combo. Couldn't get it past Paudo, who's enjoying the contest. So he's gone for the bouncer.
And again, Ali Khan having another conversation with Baldo, the little smiles at the end of it. Ali Khan, he's starting to feel in some rhythm.
Who's enjoying the contest.
Can take a look at the replay here from the stump cam. Again, the Yorker King, he's dubbed. He went for it. Have another conversation. All dug out.
Great camera work there. Set up by Umair Khan, leading the IMG and Cricket Club's production team here at Moosa Stadium in Pearland, Texas. Bringing you those wonderful visuals. Back to live action now. And Taylor, so active at backward point, cuts off yet another run. So 2 runs off the bat, 3 runs in the over, 136 for 2 after 27. Umair Khan, leading the IMG and Cricket Club's production team here at Moosa Stadium in Pearland, Texas. Bringing you those wonderful visuals. Back to live action now. And Taylor, so active at backward point, cuts off yet another run. So 2 runs off the bat, 3 runs in the over, 136 for 2 after 27. Production team here at Moosa Stadium in Pearland, Texas. Bringing you those wonderful visuals. Back to live action now. Taylor so active at backer point. Cuts off yet another unsold. Taylor beginning his fourth over. Got a message from Tamang Subash watching at 2:26 a.m. in Japan. This one is pulled out to Madani at a deep mid wicket for just one. Amazing to see great numbers of Nepalese fans cheering out there in Pearland, Texas, Jai Nepal. Amazing, not necessarily surprising. Wherever Nepal goes, I'm on. Rest assured, they're going to be supported in big numbers. And they're going to take a quick single picking on Ali Khan at short fine leg.
And again, I think they've identified the fielders they want to go after. Ali Khan has consistently been one of them. He's a very good go.
Amazing, not necessarily surprising. Wherever Nepal goes, not going to get it by Aaron Jones on this occasion. With in the ring. In big numbers. We're going to take a quick single picking on Ali Khan at short fine leg.
And again, I think they've identified the fielders they want to go after. Ali Khan has
again,
consistently
Ali Khan. He's got a bullseye on his back. He's the guy they're looking to take on for those quick singles.
Yeah, and speaking of Ali Khan, Cameron B says an intense Ali Khan is the best Ali Khan.
Theatrical dive, tumbling over the ball by Nechavalki, who was never going to get there. On his back. It means a single ends a 4-run over. So Taylor, relatively economical in the circumstances. None for 15 in his 4 overs to try and bring back the scoring rate. 140 for 2 after 28 with Connell. Yet another theatrical dive. Player to get a good start for Nepal, hoping to carry on to something much more significant.
Again, we've seen time and time again here at Musa Stadium, as you see the Nepali faithful on your screen. You need that one bat to carry on for the USA. You know, Mona Patel, Sushant Wadani innings. For Scotland, Richie Barrington once. We saw Kyle Coates do it. Who's the best one's going to carry through against Nepal? For Oman, Zishan Maksud. Who is the bat here? We saw a bunch of batters get off to a start early and not be able to convert and get to the next point of attack and get to the next figure. Can they do it today? Who's the best one's going to carry through against Nepal? For Oman, Zishan Maksud. Who is the bat here? We saw a bunch of batters get off to a start early and not be able to convert and get to the next point of attack and get to the next figure. Can they do it today? Who's the best one's going to carry through against?
So we've seen Ali Khan come off now, and Aaron Jones, the streak continues for him. No wickets since 2018. Will this be the day that changes? His part-time leg spin being brought on. We've seen
again Aaron Jones.
Ali Khan come off now, and
consistently
Aaron Jones,
accurate. Just hasn't been able to get his wicket yet. Come close on numerous occasions.
That changes
throughout the series.
Being brought on.
But still, like you said, since 2018, in search of it. Again, Aaron Jones.
Ali Khan come off now, and
consistently accurate. Just hasn't been able to get his wicket yet. Come close on numerous occasions.
That changes
throughout the series.
Being brought on.
But still, like you said, since 2018, in search of it. Again, Aaron Jones.
Big heave across the line. As the part-timer brings about.
Well, Peter, that's your big no-no across against the spin and into the wind. That's not what Peter De La Pena likes, and for someone who doesn't like the sweep option that much on this ground anyway, I definitely don't like it, but I know Peter De La Pena that time was against that sweep.
I love it, but it's got to be it. In the right context, you said it. We saw it be a recipe for disaster. 3 wickets fell to Khalwar Ali of Oman a couple days ago when they were hitting not just against the spin, but into the wind. And that was the end you wanted Yasir Muhammad to come on from, Aman,
Anyway,
where you thought he could tease out some wickets where you're you're hitting a leg spinner against the turn into the wind. The wind is blowing to the east side of the ground, which is the leg side now where Stephen Taylor is bowling at. So Stephen Taylor is turning the ball into the body, and they're hitting with the wind to the leg side. If you're going to sweep, this is the end you're going to do it from to get maximum value and low risk factor. But this time they just play it off the back foot. The wind is blowing to the east side of the ground to get, which is the leg side now where Stephen Taylor is bowling at. 144 for 2. Turning the ball into the body.
And they've done a very good job just keeping the scoreboard ticking.
There it is, that paddle sweep. Tries to get it by Ali Khan, the lap, but unable to do it. And again, I don't think that's such a bad option with Fine Lake up in the ring. The ball turning into him and the wind going in that direction. It's a relatively safe shot.
They've done a very good job just keeping the scoreboard ticking. It's not the worst shot in the world to hit again, as you said, fine leg in the circle, wind pushing in that direction. You just got to make sure you get all of it.
Again, I don't think that's such a bad option with Fine Lake up in the ring. The ball turning into him and the wind going in that direction. It's a relatively safe picking on Ali Khan throughout the last couple of overs, but that's how crucial that stop was. Nice, the single now pins him on strike. Dave Connell trying to play a release shot, chips it back to Taylor, didn't carry. His teammates were excited, but Taylor not appealing, and that gets some applause from the Nepal fans. And I know Andrew Leonard back in his hotel room is going to be dancing a jig over that one. Nice, the single now pins him on strike. The honesty from Taylor. And this time he speeds up the pace, beats the outside edge. His teammates were and concludes a very sharp over that very nearly led to a wicket. Just one run from it. 145 for 2 after 30.
And there you go. Pressure here from Stephen Taylor. 5 dot balls to end the over. Dave Connell was on strike for a very long time. Got stranded on there. And he was just, again, almost chipping one up to Stephen Taylor, almost getting an outside edge back to Mohan Patel. This is what pressure does. Take a look at the replay. Pressure. And came down the track, very nearly carried. You can see right there, just bump right in front. I think I get a great look at it here. Stephen Taylor reacted very, very early. Just right there, you can see the bump.
Just a short hop, yeah, just skidded short hop into his hands. And Vijay Malal, you could see him at the end there too, gesturing with his hands, signaling. He saw it went off the ground. That was his immediate call as well. So not only did Taylor not appeal, but
great look at it here.
Rolled it not out immediately as Saurabh Netravalkar, after 1 over trial from Aaron Jones, a part-time leg spin, has gone back to the left arm pace of Saurabh Netravalkar for his 6th over, none for 17 in his new ball spell, which was bowled on the Massey Ranch end, the south end of the ground. He's coming back now from the Pearland end.
Gotta be careful, Rohit Bal, though, with that little guide down. That one was very close to the stumps. They haven't connected on a lot of them. You get one wrong, it's always going to angle back on off stump.
6th over, none for 17 in his much more assertive stroke out to the cover sweep from Madani. The south end of the ground. Back now from the Pearland end. Netravalkar, we've seen him be so dangerous throughout these matches with Mohan Patel coming up to the stumps and Netravalkar coming around the wicket.
It's always going to angle back on off stump. And it's a good adjustment. Not going to let the batsmen use their feet to come down and play. Not going to let them really sit on it. Going to make them have to play in the crease. And if they want to pull, they've got to pull from there. If they want to do anything,
Around the wicket.
Do it while you're attached to the crease. And it's a good adjustment.
This one skids just a touch low. The first sign of variable bounce we've seen from the pace bowlers. It's been an awfully true wicket. Times in the earlier matches, we've seen it start to show some inconsistent bounce in the second innings, and Mohan Patel is going to have a sharper look at that ball. That's not a good sign for USA with this many runs already on the board for Nepal.
Yeah, again, as you said, stayed low. You can see Connell got on the back foot and just beat the off stump. Very nearly the end of Dave Connell, but as you mentioned, for the USA, the ball continued to do this.
Going to have a sharper look at that ball. This one shipped. A good sign for USA. Officially, and again, we saw the catch it short mid-wicket by Stevenson. We saw a near return catch to Stephen Taylor just moments ago. And now this one, the ball just stopping a touch. Netravalkar mixing up his pace and almost
I'll continue to do this.
Just hard-handed push. This one shipped for USA. Officially, again, we saw that nearly carried. Ali Khan at mid-off. We've seen that kind of short mid-off, short extra cover position take an awful lot of wickets throughout these ODIs. I'm wondering if we'll see USA try to employ that at some stage here. Hard-handed push. Middle overs, perhaps Nepal in the second innings as well.
A lot of pressure building, as you said, and that could lead to them bringing a short cover
short mid-off, short extra cover position
into the picture.
Throughout these ODIs. I'm wondering if we'll see USA try to employ that at some stage here.
And just the one run coming from the over. There's been 4 dots. Can make it 4 consecutive dots, and the over saw a lot of pressure building, as you said, and that could lead to them bringing.
And this is absolutely tremendous from USA to rally back here in the field. Nepal was cruising at the second drinks break, 133 for 2 after 26, but in the last 5 overs, Nepal has added just 12 runs, USA being really disciplined in the field, and it's 145 for 2 after 31. I'm Peter Della Penna here at Musa Stadium alongside Alan Patel here in the very nice and air-conditioned broadcast booth put up by Saki Muhammad, founder of Musa Cricket Stadium here in Maryland, Texas. We're comfortable. It's not as comfortable outside in the middle for the players. Hot, sticky, incredibly sunny now. There was some cloud cover earlier as they're going to pinch 2 off Madani's arm to start off this 31st over. And temperatures today climbing above 100 degrees Fahrenheit, well above 35 degrees Celsius, well over 40 degrees Celsius if you take the heat index into account because of the humidity today. It's about 55% humidity was in the forecast. Off Madani's arm to start off this 31st said it a couple times as Khan cuts off a single here, and the run-out chance hits 35 degrees Celsius. Dev Connell trying to make his ground. Honak Patel throws up his arms in frustration. About 55% humidity was in the forecast.
We've seen the pressure building on Nepal. Dev Connell's on the ground. Again, got hit with the ball. Hoping he's okay. Run out some water for him. Played a brilliant knock so far, but again, the pressure building from the USA has caused Nepal to really be unsure with some of their running. Trying to force the issue now, Nepal. We've seen the pressure building. See the spray being dealt out. Again, hit him on the lower leg. He's okay. Run out some water for him. Played a brilliant knock so far, but again,
take a look
building from the USA
here now at the bowling card for USA while we're going to have this delay.
Trying to force the issue now, Nepal. Seen the pressure building.
Just kidding. We'll get that fixed. Here we go. There's the bowling card for USA. Is Taylor now into his 6th over. At the bowling card for USA.
And he's bowled quite well. Hasn't gotten that wicket yet, nearly. But he's created a lot of pressure, and as you said, has been a big part of that rally back in the last 5 overs to keep Nepal from really adding anything to the total.
Now into his 6th over. And currently, partnership in progress. 29 off 55 balls between these two.
That rally back in the last 5 overs to keep Nepal from really adding anything to the total.
And there it is again, the ball just stopping a touch. When you mix up your pace, throw off the rhythm of these batters from Nepal. If you get a short extra cover, short mid-wicket in place, they're always going to be in play. And he goes for the slide sweep. It's one of his favorite shots. One bounce over the rope for 4. He's going again with the turn and with the wind. I really like that shot. It's a safe shot with the conditions at play. I'm on.
With the turn, with the wind, and again, outside the line of stumps. Take a look at it. It was well outside off stumps, so you have the freedom. If you missed, it doesn't matter. And the long on fielder, Yasser Muhammad, he's very straight.
Again, with the turn and
so
with the wind.
There to be
I
played.
really like that shot. It's a safe shot. Back to live action now. This time punches it wide of extra cover. You can hear the roars now getting a touch louder from the West Grandstand.
If you miss, it doesn't matter. And the long off.
Here's the Nepal faithful.
He's very straight.
This isn't Texas. This is not in Kathmandu. But wherever you go, you run the risk of it. Nepal fans turning it into a Nepal home game atmosphere, and it's happening again here in Texas today. PJ Goodall's, Amar Matoro doing their best to show their support for USA, but they're heavily outnumbered at the moment by those Nepal jerseys, the Paris Kotka jersey, the famous number 77. You run the risk of it. Nepal fans turning it into a Nepal home game atmosphere, and it's happening again here in Texas today. Making sure they've counted to 6 properly. Amar Matoro doing their best to show their support for USA, but they're heavily outnumbered at the moment by those Nepal jerseys, the Paris Kotka 9 runs from it, 154 for 2 after 32. And Empire's just making sure they've counted to 6 properly. Doing their best to show their support for USA, but they're heavily outnumbered at the moment by those Nepal jerseys, the Paris Kotka 9 runs from it, 154 for 2 after 32.
200 door sales.
Empire's just making sure they've counted to 6 properly. To show their support for USA, but they're heavily outnumbered at the moment by those Nepal jerseys. Volker now into his 7th over as we're running close to 1,000 fans here. Biggest crowd by far, by some distance. We had just short of 500 fans for the USA-Scotland match that kicked off these back-to-back ODI Tri-Series, and we're getting close to 1,000 here today. And the fans are still coming in here at Moosa Stadium in Pearland, Texas.
And it's good, an amazing atmosphere again. Anytime Nepal does anything, you can hear a tremendous outcry. And then anytime the U.S. has a moment when you've seen a wicket fall, you've heard an outcry as well. It's been truly fantastic. You can see the King stand. You see the 2 tents over there providing some brilliant shade. Fans, they're loving it. They're enjoying it. They're out here in the heat and everything for cricket. Does anything you can hear.
We've had so much on our plate before the broadcast begins, and once it's underway, it literally has just clicked for me how organized the Moosa Stadium crew has been along with the USA cricket officials. They didn't just get any tents to set up on the West Grandstand. They got red, white, and blue striped tents to keep it in the theme of the occasion. The red, white, and blue. You've got red, white, and blue on the USA. You've got red, white, and blue in Nepal as well. The Stadium crew has been along with the USA cricket officials. They didn't just get any.
You can see the fans. They're loving it.
They got
loving every moment of it. Doesn't matter they're in the heat. You can see them all packed around the fence right there. One umbrella. They see themselves on the big board. They're loving it. Again, it's very, very hot outside. But they don't care. They don't care. It don't matter. They're just having a ball. And you can see the fans. They're loving it.
And just behind them, you can see that red tent and the Academy gazebo. There's a nursery ground here. It's called the Balkis Field. And that's where the teams have been training.
They're loving it. Again,
not been playing.
Very, very hot outside.
That's where Oman was training this morning on the Balkis Field.
They don't care. It don't matter.
And the Academy gazebo. PJ Goodall's, he's up out of the tent, just a little bit beyond the Academy gazebo. He's waving that USA red, white, and blue, the Stars and Stripes flag. PJ's been here for a number of the matches. Not been playing. That's where Oman was training this morning. Doing his best to let the USA players know on the field. They've got some home team support too. In amongst all those Nepalese jerseys. PJ's been here. Sharp single, tip and run from Rohit Paudel. This is really good to just break that dot ball streak. Deny Saurabh Netravalkar maiden. So 1 run from the over. But again, USA, after conceding 9 in the previous over, Saurabh ties it down again at the opposite end from the Pearland end. There's PJ. Sharp single, tip and run from Rohit Paudel. This is really good There's the Stars and Stripes here in Space City, Houston, Texas. I took a trip over to NASA headquarters, the Johnson Space Center yesterday, Aman, and if you haven't been, highly recommend it. We saw PJ with the sign last week. How many countries have played cricket, have been to the moon? And Houston, one of the nicknames for Houston Space City, because this is where NASA headquarters is. Over to NASA headquarters, and Space Center yesterday, Aman. Have you had a chance to go over to NASA at all?
I haven't. I need to get over there, Peter. I saw your pictures the other day, or yesterday, and I just became extremely jealous. It looked like a great time.
And Houston, really an incredible space place. This is where NASA headquarters is. Got so much interactive stuff over there, so much history. Have you had a chance to go over to NASA at all?
I haven't.
Is
I need to get over there, Peter. I saw your pictures the other
single
day,
year.
or yesterday.
All the lunar missions, the Apollo program, Mercury, the Gemini programs prior to the Apollo program, which put so much man on the moon. Interactive stuff over there, so much history. The Apollo 11 mission I saw last night at the Astros game. The Astros do a lot to pay tribute to that. The name the Houston Astros comes from the astronauts, the space program itself, and they've got some hats the Astros fans wear that they've got the H logo for the Houston Astros on one side with the Apollo 11. The Apollo 11 mission I saw last night at the Astros game. The Astros do a lot. This one is just wide. Pay tribute to that. The man at backward point. They're going to come back for two. The space program itself, and they've got some hats the Astros fans wear that they've got the H logo for the Houston Astros on one side with the Apollo 11. The Apollo 11 mission I saw last night at the Astros game. The Astros do this one is just wide. Pay tribute to that. The man at backward point. They're going to come back for two. The space program itself, and they've got some hats the Astros fans wear that they've got the H logo for the Houston Astros on one side with the Apollo 11. The Apollo 11 mission I saw last night at the Astros game. The Astros do this one is just wide. Pay tribute to that. The man at backward point. They're going to come back for two. The space program itself, and they've got some hats the Astros fans wear that they've got the H logo for the Houston Astros on one side with the Apollo 11. We've got an eagle logo on the Apollo 11 mission. That was the one where they landed on the moon. Stifled appeal. Down the leg side. Ali Khan giving chase. Will he get there? Yes. He's going to save one run, so it'll be three. We've got an eagle logo on giving his runs off the bat by umpire Vijay Malala. So much history there. NASA. The leg side. Ali Khan giving chase. I'm not by any means a space nerd or a space nut, but it's quite remarkable seeing firsthand up close. You get it. An incredible appreciation for the amazing things that runs off the bat mankind has done going to the moon, and now they're going to try and go back to Mars. They're trying to relaunch the shuttle program with Artemis. That's the new name for the new space program that's going to get underway next year or in 2024. Quite remarkable seeing firsthand. This one is down the leg side. So the Discovery program, the amazing things that you had the Challenger program after Apollo, Columbia, and then Discovery shuttle program with Artemis. That's the new name for the new. That ended in 2011. But in 2023-24, they're going to relaunch the space shuttle program with Artemis, try and take people to Mars. There was a big festival going on there yesterday, the Moon to Mars Festival. Not only do they want to get astronauts back on the moon, they want to take them to Mars as well. As the score is now 165 for two after 34. As Nissar concedes a double-digit over. It's just so much there, and I encourage anybody who's here in Houston, coming to Houston for this series, in between games. We got another match tomorrow, USA taking on Oman. But Saki Muhammad is the owner of this ground, founder of this ground. He's a big fan of encouraging anybody to get to Musa Stadium, and on the off day, Monday, get down to NASA. It's just about a 25-minute drive here from Musa Stadium, and it's a great place, whether you're into all that space and science stuff or not. There's just so much American history, so much world history there over at the Johnson Space Center. To Musa Stadium, and on the off day, Monday, get down to NASA.
Peter, you made a great sell. I got to get down there at some point.
It's a great place.
I feel like I'm missing out on all this rich history and don't have many memories of space missions.
So much world history. Here over at the Johnson
Born in
Space
2003, so you said the last manned one was 2011. So I can't wait to get some more manned space missions in 2024 and have men and women up on the moon and on Mars.
Rusty Tehran now replacing Netravolker from the Pearland end as they're cycling through fast bores and short spells on this blisteringly hot day here in Pearland.
And something of interest, the pace bowlers, at least in the second spell, have been a lot less expensive than some of the spinners. We've seen them take a liking to some of the spinners. Stephen Taylor in his last over, and Nisarg Patel in the previous. Sorb Netravolker, however, has been very economical. Ali Khan's been very economical.
Here in Pearland.
So how long can they last in this blistering heat is going to be the question for the American Pacers. Some of the spinners. We've seen them take a liking to some of the spinners.
Big cheers, not so much for the single taken by Paddle, but more so the fact that it's put Dev Connell on strike on 49. Fans are waiting anxiously on the fence. They've got the Paras Kodka jerseys. Going forward, we could see some more Dev Connell jerseys being worn to the ground. Here comes Tehran with Connell on 49. But more so the fact that it's put steers this wide of Taylor, and you hear the roars to acknowledge a second ODI half century for Dev Connell in just his fourth ODI. Dev Connell jerseys. Casual raise of the bat to the fans on the West Grandstand. And it's the second half century of the day for Nepal as they continue to cruise on this flat wicket.
He's looked very, very good since coming in, replacing, of course, Asif Sheikh, and he's coming, hasn't missed a beat, deserved one yesterday, played a rash shot today, just played everything to the merit. He's getting rewarded for it. Again, just 17 years of age. Over the Yerevan for the UAE. Dave Connell playing exceptionally well. He's looked very, very good since coming in.
Big appeal, more to throw off the wide. Didn't look like there was any bat on that, and they've succeeded in not getting an extra added to the total.
Just played everything
given as a dot ball. Leslie Reefer Jr. Yeah, Dev Connell learned a very harsh lesson 2 days ago in the match against Oman. He soaked up that lesson with that frankly terrible shot he played. And they've been much more disciplined, given as a dot ball on this occasion, and he's reaped the rewards of that. 50 off 64 balls so far. Learned a very harsh lesson 2 days ago in the match against Oman. He soaked up. Rusty digs it in short. Terrible shot. And you can hear the chants. Nice one, Rusty, coming from the American fans.
Giving them something to cheer about here. Again, we talked about them breaking that partnership with Asif Sheikh and Dave Connell. They need to find a way to break up.
And you can hear the chants. Nice one, Rusty, coming from the American fans.
Giving them something to cheer about here. Again, we talked about them breaking that partnership with Asif Sheikh and Dave Connell. They need to find a way to break up.
And you can hear the chants. Nice one, Rusty, coming from the American fans.
Giving them something to cheer about here. Again, we talked about them breaking that partnership with Asif Sheikh and Dave Connell. They need to find a way to break up.
And you can hear the chants. Nice one, Rusty, coming from the American fans.
Giving them something to cheer about here. Again, we talked about them breaking that partnership with Asif Sheikh and Dave Connell. They need to find a way to break up.
And you can hear the chants. Nice one, Rusty, coming from the American fans.
Giving them something to cheer about here. Again, we talked about them breaking that partnership with Asif Sheikh and Dave Connell. They need to find a way to break up.
And you can hear the chants. Nice one, Rusty, coming from the American fans.
to cheer about here. Again, we talk about them breaking the partnership with Asif Sheikh and Dave Connell. They need to find a way to break it.